two deep are 4th and 5th year seniors. That maturity and experience could be a big reason they bounce back tonight. On the other side, Florida State is sitting at 3-3, which is exactly where they were a year ago. They then went on to lose 4 of their final 6 games. Defensive engineer Arius Robinson says that won't happen again. Every game left on our schedule is winnable, and a New Year's Six Bowl is not off the table, you guys.
We shall see, Katie. One thing we do know is it's dry at the moment here at Wake Forest. That is likely not going to be the case all night long. But as we continue to check the forecast, and they were predicting about an inch of rain at some point tonight, it pushes later and later into the evening. So we're betting sometime after 9 p.m., maybe as late as 10 before you see any of the real serious wet stuff here tonight. That could create a very interesting set of circumstances, though, Tim. Quarterbacks handling the wet footballs, the wide receivers, just how much they practice for that, and whether that really matters.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, Dave, because the game started dry. We're talking about seeing all of these points, but then all of a sudden, if the weather turns in a way that it prohibits you from throwing the football, well, now all of a sudden that changes everything for both of these offenses.
You see here Alex Hornibrook, the backup quarterback to James Blackman. That decision was coming down to today. We were told by Willie Taggart, the FSU coach, that they were going to debate that throughout the evening and make up their mind who would lead the offense for the Seminoles. They don't feel like this idea of, changing quarterbacks every several series or halves has worked very, very well.
Well, I'll tell you, I've watched them and it hasn't worked. It has not helped either guy play better, and I think Willie Taggart was looking for somebody to separate themselves in that quarterback battle. James Blackman had the first opportunity to do so. He really hasn't done it, but I think Willie Taggart is going to have more patience in terms of whoever comes out first of sticking with him throughout the night.
Well, Florida State has won the toss. They are deferring to Wake Forest, so Wake will receive. As we are set to get underway, and as mentioned, dry and not very windy here, so the conditions are perfect at the moment. And we are underway, Wake Forest and Florida State. And Wake to take over on the offense. Jamie Newman not suited up. The starting quarterback, 6'4", 230. Suffered a banged-up left shoulder against Louisville. He's thrown touchdown passes in 10 straight starts. So look at the total offense. 341 yards. This is a big miss.
And that's why, Dave, no matter how much they like Sam Hartman, and Sam Hartman's a good quarterback, they are really going to miss Jamie Newman because he's such a physical runner. He's been outstanding as a passer. But they like Sam Hartman in part because of the way he came in and performed a week ago. He started plenty of games before in the past as well.
Yeah, I did. Well, I saw his first action of the season against Louisville. 9 of 15, 172 yards, passed for 2, and ran for 1. And the first carry is Carney, who fumbled immediately last weekend. Not the case here. Emmett Rice with the stop, but a nice gain of 9 yards.
And that's an encouraging sign for Wake Forest. They ran right into a blitz and were able to crease it.
And look at his tempo. Trying to find a crease there, and the handoff again to Carney. Met by Marvin Wilson, 6'5", 310-pound junior. Mel Kiper's number 14 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Big Board. That was a gain of 5, and they're right back at it again. And Carney off to the right. So Sam Hartman leading the offense. Not only did he play very well last Saturday, almost led them to that stunning victory. They lost by 3. Very confident performance as mentioned. And he will zip the pass here to Hinton. Trying to get to that first down, and still bowling ahead. Aswaldine finally taking him down, but a first down.
Wake Forest going fast. They go on balance there, and Florida State doesn't get lined up correctly, which is why Hinton's out on the perimeter, and there's no one there to cover him.
Hartman back to pass. Good time in the pocket. On target to Surratt, his favorite receiver. Gets into the open field there, and he's down close to the 15-yard line. Aswaldine with a stop.
Sorry, Dave. This is outstanding play by the quarterback, Sam Hartman. It's a slant and go, but when you look at how high Stanford Samuels is playing over the top, he just hits him with a back shoulder throw, and it's a great feel by the quarterback and the receiver. You see, just throttled down because the defensive back is playing over the top. basically one of those plays where you call it a play to get on top of the defense, you don't, and then great reaction by quarterback and receiver.
Well, that play goes for 31 yards, but Stanford Samuels has really been their best cornerback for FSU. He is down. We'll take the break and return in just a moment.
Elite.
Yeah, and that's just ugly. And Willie Taggart, this defense for Florida State has had all kinds of injuries, many of them season-ending.
Yeah, they're also looking on this hit at possible targeting on Nasruldeen.
And that would be
their top tackler. That'd be a huge loss.
That would be a huge loss because he really, I think, is one of their best defensive players, especially in a secondary now that just had Stanford Samuels leave the game.
After further review, personal foul, targeting, number 23, defense. Penalty is half the distance from the end of the run. Automatic first down. Number 23 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Oh, this is a giant loss for Florida State, as the free safety Hamza Nasruldeen, top tackler, 39 tackles and an interception. He has been disqualified.
I mean, in some ways I'm stunned. You saw the look on Nasruldeen's face. He looked stunned that it happened. This is so hard for defenders. You're trying to make a play of a talented runner in the open field, but I think it's the crown of his helmet that drew the attention of the officials. You're trying to protect the tackler as much as the guy getting tackled, and that's why he's disqualified.
So 1st and goal, knocking on the door right away. Wake Forest behind Hartman, who will keep it. Trying to scamper for the end zone. He's going to come up short.
Number 10, Sam Hartman with the keeper.
And dropped by Jackson. That's a 5-yard pickup. And losing a key player, the Seminoles, in the opening seconds of the game here at Winston-Salem. 2nd and goal.
Using a double cadence, would not be surprised if Florida State brings pressure and he throws an isolation route to Sage Surratt.
He's going to roll and fire, and it's batted away. Stopped by the Seminoles. Asante Samuel denying Scotty Washington.
Yeah, it's a nice play by Asante Samuel, and Sam Hartman wanted Sage Surratt. He's looking to his left, but really doesn't like, the separation up top and escapes outside, and I think he's fortunate here that ball wasn't intercepted.
Well, Samuel's getting back in, so he was not out very long at all. That's good news for the Seminoles. They could use a little right now. 3rd and goal for the end zone. Off the fingertips of Surratt, defended by Samuels. So that pays off, getting him right back into the contest.
And listen, this is what it was going to come down to for Florida State, is can these defensive backs go challenge these wide receivers for Wake Forest at the moment of truth. Decent amount of contact there, but I think it's a right decision to have no flag thrown. It's a pretty good stop after a big play in the red zone there by that Florida State defense.
So Wake will bring on one of the top field goal men in the country, and Nick Skiba. He's made 18 in a row. Been perfect all season long. And in his career, up near 90%. This is from 21 yards. So for Skiba, certainly a chip shot. And that is good, and 3-0 Wake Forest. So Wake doesn't get all they want, but they wind up with the field goal. And Florida State losing arguably their best defensive player other than Marvin Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a win because you held Wake Forest to a field goal. Nice red zone stop. But, man, is it a loss when you think about, Nasruldeen and what he has meant to this team. He's such a versatile player. Dave, you referenced him, how good of a tackler he is, kind of a tone setter. And so right away, early in this game, early in this first half, to lose him, that's a big blow for this defense of Florida State that has had all kinds of injuries this season. And so they have guys that are playing that I think Willie Taggart just feels, maybe aren't quite ready yet. And now you're going to have more guys forced into action.
Yeah, of course, they're facing an offense in Wake Forest that's scoring about 40 points a game. They're number 12 nationally. And now they lose Nasruldeen. So we'll see how that affects it in the long haul for the FSU defense. In 4 of their 6 games to date, they have allowed 36, 44, 31, and 45 points. So 45 last weekend against Clemson. So the Noles to get the football. Remember, they allowed 367 yards in offense to Clemson in the first half last Saturday. So let's see who comes out to lead them, and it will be James Blackman, a sophomore out of South Bay, Florida, who had a poor game against Clemson. I mean, both quarterbacks did. Hornibrook did too, but Blackman 9 for 23, 66 yards and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, Willie Taggart really has emphasized to us that he has the team, that he's a leader on this team. His attitude has been infectious to many of the players. They just need him to play better. They need him to make the throws he should make, and they need him to not turn it over.
And look for them to get the ball to that man. Now they're going to try a reverse. A little trickery right away. Here's Matthews Blackman, the long throw, and that one is incomplete. Bassey with a good cover to deny the long gain, and incomplete.
And because the play takes so long, you have a handoff to Akers, then a pitch to Matthews, flip it back. Well, now you're just outrunning the quarterback's arm. And as you see, you've got over top of the defense, but Bassey's able to recover because the quarterback can't get it there.
Akers trying to bounce outside. They string him out. There is a flag down. Cam Akers with the carry. And perhaps one of the most underrated all-purpose backs in the country. He's already had a couple of games where he scored 3 touchdowns.
Holding, number 55, offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That's the right guard, Dante Lucas.
And Lucas, a true freshman, one of these guys that has struggled along that offensive line. Really, they've been the weak link, Dave. I mean, the offensive line has really not played well together, and I think that's one of the things that Willie Taggart knows he needs to get fixed in order for this offense to play well and also help them continue to feed the ball to Cam Akers.
Backs him up for a 2nd and 20. Blackman with the throw and complete. And that one caught by Terry, capable of getting some great back-breaking plays. Now, we talked about this coming off of the bus, and the freshman with Wake Forest on the field. This was hours before the game, and his head coach actually pulled him away and told him to get back where you belong. And that'll be complete to Matthews.
Yeah, I have to say, when finding out that is Lucas and that you have a true freshman that's coming out on the field and doing that, after last week, I don't think that's what Willie Taggart is looking for out of his football team, which is why you see him grabbing him, pregame. I think Florida State needs to do a better job of just focusing on the game and not so much stuff like that, winning the argument pregame.
So 1st and 10. Wake in front 3-0. Blackman will carry that. Oh, he took a vicious hit. He got decked by Tyler Williams. So he paid for that carry.
This is a big-time play by Tyler Williams. You see him just shed the block of Roberts and put a big hit on Blackman. They're really trying to empty out the backfield to make it look like pass, and they go with the quarterback power. Nice play by Tyler Williams.
2 tough yards. He'll throw it this time. Diving effort, but incomplete, intended for Wilson. So 3rd down and 8 coming up for FSU. And for Blackman. Now, one thing that Willie Taggart told us is when he does make up his mind who the quarterback's going to be, and it's obviously going to be James Blackman, they intend to stick with him, Tim.
And I think it's the right move to decide on somebody. I'm not sure that Blackman would have been my choice, but Willie Taggart has decided to go with him, and I think that he's going to want to see him and leave him in there.
3rd down and 8, 10:57 to go here in the first quarter. Wake on top on the field goal as they get together and talk about this stoppage in play. We discussed how both offenses just really want to be quick on the gas, that's for sure. FSU has scored 59 points in the first quarter this year. That's 15th in the nation. 3rd down and 8. He looks and fires and complete to Matthews. And pushed out by Taylor after a pickup of about 7.5. So take a look at the spot on this one. And it brings up 4th down.
Tell you what, you know, it's interesting. If they look at that when he's reaching that football out, extending it, I'm not so sure he didn't have the 1st down.
Ruling on the field is catch. Previous play is under further review.
We're going to take a look at that spot when we come back. 3-0 Wake Forest.
% or more on car insurance.
Well, they reviewed the spot and they gave FSU the 1st down. Matthews extending before he went out.
I think that's the right decision to overturn it here, because before Matthews' left leg ends up out of bounds, you see him extend the football, which clearly gets to the 46, and that was good enough for a Florida State 1st down. And really a big 3rd down completion there for James Blackman, you know, after missing one earlier to stay on the field here. They've been terrible on 3rd down. That's a big one there.
2 tight ends in here for the Seminoles. Don't forget about Matthews now. That's the 20th pass that he has caught this season. Florida State loaded with those wideouts and a very talented running back in Akers, who very rarely goes down on the first hit. He gains 2. Stopped by Greer and also by Sturnett, who leads the way with 62 tackles for the Demon Deacons. Outstanding defender. Off the fake, and that's going to be incomplete. McDonald, the tight end. Good pressure there by Basham.
And that's basically an RPO, and it looks funny because it's a right-handed quarterback going left.
There's no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball did not cross the line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
You see what happens there is you have a right-handed quarterback trying to throw a flat route on an RPO to a tight end that is off the line of scrimmage, and it makes for such an awkward angle. And that's why you see a good athlete like James Blackman look unathletic as he's trying to get the ball to a guy that's wide open in the flat.
Which for him does not happen every day. Blackman also 6'5", about 200 pounds. 3rd and 8 for the Noles. And time to throw, and zips the pass and complete. Wriggling away is Wilson. And finally is gang tackled. Rucker getting to him first. That's a gain of 6. And that will bring up 4th down. And it looks like they will go for it on 4th and 2. Blackman in command of the offense, rolling and firing and complete. It's going to come loose, but he was down. So another tight end getting into the fray. They're using those tight ends early. Neighbors for a 3-yard gain.
Basically an option. He's got the ability to throw the flat or throw the shovel pass to Cam Akers. You outflank the defense with Gabe Neighbors. You just go ahead and give him the football. Good decision by James Blackman, leads to the 1st down.
1st and 10, the Noles on the drive. And a flag again.
Ball start. Number 51, offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Fabian Johnson, 300-pound junior out of Lakeland, Florida. Lots of penalties. We've talked about this, and Florida State has been dealing with this incessantly this season. Too many of those. 1st and 15. He will throw, throwing long to the sideline, and he's going to be out. Wilson, the intended receiver.
Wake Forest is really protecting their corners. I mean, really, when you look at what they've been trying to do, it's Trey Rucker running over the top to help the corner out. Wake Forest does not want to be in a situation where they're having Amari Henderson and Hussein Bassi trying to cover one-on-one. They're giving them help, and so I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen more of the run game for Florida State.
Laburn on the carry. Number 2 back, Kalen Laburn. His grandmother got to see him play against Clemson last weekend. It's the first time she's ever seen him in person. And he scored the first touchdown of his career with his grandma watching, so it was very, very emotional. Picked up 5 on that carry. Akers back in. 3rd down and 10. And whistles again. And another stoppage of play.
Timeout, Wake Forest. That's their first timeout of the half.
We'll take their first.
Media timeout.
Way, or is it going to miss us, Tim?
Something tells me those dudes in the costume not real concerned about rain.
No, that's not item 1 on their checklist tonight. Pack for rain. 3rd down and 10 for Blackman. And right over the center and complete to the tight end McKinney. Trey McKinney with the grab.
And I'd expect him to go for it again. Here comes the offense.
8-yard gain. 4th and 2. Blackman trying to lunge ahead.
He got it.
And did he get it? Looked like he did. Let's see. He did not. He was denied. Blackman came up short.
And I believe it's Nasir Greer who makes this play. Wake Forest is a little slow getting lined up, and Nasir Greer ends up coming off the edge. He's unblocked, and right at that mesh point, you see on the right side of your screen here, Nasir Greer, here he comes, and he basically blows it up. So James Blackman is not able to give the ball to Cam Akers, and then he just ends up stumbling. What a great play by Nasir Greer. The sophomore safety coming off the edge makes a huge play.
So Wake to take over the football here, and it's Carney. And stopped by Marvin Wilson, who tends to get in just about everybody's way. Against Louisville, he had 10 tackles, 3.5 for a loss, and 2 sacks. Guy who redefined his body, and defensive coordinator Harlan Barnett said he thinks he's sexy now.
Well, he has everybody's attention. I don't know if it's because he's sexy. I think it's because he's a great player. He's hard for people to block.
Now Hartman keeping the football there. Quarterback on the run. He can do that too. Remember, he ran for a touchdown last weekend. He picks up 4 yards to bring up 3rd and 6. He's got Carney very sure-handed in the backfield with him. Wake Forest coming in 5-1, 1-1 in the ACC. Took their first loss of the year in an absolutely crazy game last weekend, which took 4 hours and 4 minutes. The longest game ever in this stadium. He's going to go long here, and that's going to be caught by Surratt as he airs it out down the left sideline.
It's one-on-one coverage. Sage Surratt on Stanford Samuels, and he just gets on top of him. I get the sense that people want to sit on Sage Surratt because he's a big physical receiver. They don't believe in his speed. It's a couple weeks in a row now. We've seen him run right past defensive backs.
Hartman sliding down. We've seen him limping a little bit here over the last couple of series. That was a gain of 2. But staying in there. You know, when he lost his starting quarterback job as a true freshman last year, it was because he broke his leg. He's back to throw. Flag down. Incomplete. Surratt and Samuels going toe-to-toe, but a flag. .6:25 to go here in the first. There were actually 2 flags thrown pretty far apart.
Offside. Defense, number 11. That penalty's declined. Personal foul. Legal hands to the face. Number 44. Defense. 15, half the distance to the goal. Automatic, first down.
A big penalty there on Brendan Gant, the freshman out of Lakeland, Florida. So moves the football half the distance to the goal. So that'll be spotted on the first and 10 here with 6:25 to go. And at the 12-yard line. And it's Carney again trying to duck inside. And he stopped by Dontavius Jackson. So no gain on that one.
Florida State has decided basically to play man coverage, and you know, at the top of the screen, it looks like they're giving him some help now. They have been isolating on Sage Surratt.
Good pass and upended on the play. Chapman, one of the tight ends, after a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, it's a big hit. Throwing the flag, and Asante Samuel Jr. does a good job of looking inside. It's his own coverage, so he basically just traps it. And you know, a lot of people look at that hit and they don't like that hit because it's low on a big guy, and he's kind of exposed. And you see Chapman is obviously in some pain right here. But you know, I think with the way the rules are and what we're asking defensive backs to do in terms of defenseless receivers, you can't hit them high. You certainly can't hit him with the crown of your helmet. We saw that earlier with Nasruddin. And so Asante Samuel Jr. is doing what he needs to do by going low, gets Chapman on the ground. But unfortunately, I just think these are dangerous plays, but I think, you know, they're partly because of the way the rules are.
Now you look at a few plays ago, and Hartman going down, and here he is after that play. You can see he is limping.
Dave, you mentioned the broken leg a year ago. I was watching that game. Sam Hartman breaks his leg, stays in the game, finishes the game. He is a tough, scrappy, competitive kid. And so, you know, you just think about the quarterback situation for Wake Forest. They felt good when they have Jamie Newman healthy and Sam Hartman healthy. Jamie Newman not in pads, and so behind Sam Hartman is Michael Kern, a true freshman.
3rd and 7, wants to throw. Now has to scamper out of it. Gets to the 10-yard line, still on his feet. He's dragged down by Robinson with a 2-yard pickup there. And Skiba coming on to attempt the field goal now for Wake.
Two outstanding things just happened there. It was great pass protection for Sam Hartman, and we're talking about being banged up, but great coverage in the secondary by Florida State. It's the second red zone stop for them in terms of holding Wake Forest to a field goal.
This will be Nick Skiba trying to make his second of the night. This one from 25 yards. First one was from 21. Inside 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Perfect on the year, 19 for 19, and make it 24-20. So Wake Forest doubling their lead on top, 6-0 over FSU. Wake Forest with a 6-0 lead on the Seminoles. Hamza Nasruddin, the top tackler for Florida State, a big defensive loss, disqualified for targeting in the opening moments of the game. So Wake with a couple of field goals, leading it 6-0. So he's in street clothes for the rest of the evening. Wake Forest trying to go to 6-1. Last weekend they fell behind 28-7 after one quarter, and then had to rally furiously to make that in the end a 3-point game. Some controversy at the end of it as well. Harrison, he's going to be bottled up over near that right side, shy of the 20. The ACC has been absolutely crazy in many regards. Pitt with a nice win against Syracuse. They won 4 straight.
I think they're making a pretty good case to being the second best team in the ACC.
Now how about the Hokies now? Wow. 6 overtimes, and they survived North Carolina. The first game under the new rules. When you get to that 5th overtime, it becomes a 2-point conversion. Now Clemson and thumping Louisville 45-10. 6 touchdowns by 6 different players. We'll see them next weekend against Boston College.
It's amazing the balance that team has. 6 touchdowns from 6 different players.
Well, Laburn got free initially, but did not travel very far. Johns with the stop, lost 5 yards.
You know, when you think about Clemson and what they were doing, you know, people can be critical of their opponents, Dave, but quite honestly, you just look at the talent on their team, what they did a year ago. I think it's, you know, somewhat unfair to Clemson in terms of how impressive they've been. Even winning games that are close when people thought maybe shouldn't have been close. I think winning is what matters, and we've certainly seen it. And you can see 22-game win streak.
But Tim, I think they've set the expectations so darn high, and unrealistically, because even if they win by 35, it's like it's not enough.
Yeah, and I think that's unfair because everyone is going to give them their best shot.
Right.
And I think that makes it difficult week in, week out.
Incomplete off the hands of Terry.
You think about it too. You know, a lot of teams will just keep starters in and run games up. You think about Clemson. We did that Clemson-Charlotte game. They played 110 players.
You know this about, as you watch the incompletion to Terry, if you play for Clemson, you're going to play for Clemson. You're going to get in the game.
I think if you show Dabo that you're willing to practice hard and be committed to the program, he'll find a way to get you on the field.
Hinton back for the punt. Very high punt. And inside the 35. He gets free. Across the 50. He takes to the side. He's got room to go. At the 20, the 10. Touchdown. Kendall Hinton. A flag is down. Back around the 40-yard line. But a scintillating run by Kendall Hinton.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 20, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So it's coming back. That's on Kobe Davis. Special teams were such a problem last weekend for them.
You see right there's the block in the back, and extended hands directly in the back of Josh Brown. And even though it wasn't a lot, that's the right decision to throw a flag there. I'm not sure that Kendall Hinton needed it. And that's a shame. I mean, you said if you think about special teams last week, really a disaster. Probably lost the game for Wake Forest.
True.
And then to have a play like that called back, what a devastating blow.
It would have been a 67-yard touchdown run, but Dave Clawson was very upset with the special teams breakdowns against Louisville. Wake allowing back-breaking kick and punt returns in that contest. In the game they lost by 3. Hartman's going to scamper out of there and slide down. Shy of the 40-yard line, picks up a first down. Let's go down to Katie.
Well, you two mentioned your concern for Sam Hartman and the limping that he was showing on that last drive. Dave Clawson agrees. He had the same concern. Asked Hartman during the break, "Are you okay?" They fist bumped. He said, "I'm good to go."
And on the run, it'll be Beal Smith on the second down carry. Hartman was just shy of the first, but he'll pick up 3 and gain the first down there.
And I think that Dave Clawson wants to be careful with Sam Hartman. You can't do the things you would normally want to do with your quarterback as a runner.
Well, how about this catch by Surratt going man-to-man with Samuels? What a grab.
This is an amazing catch. This is exactly what he does well. Really doesn't get on the top here, but ball's in the air, moment of truth. When we said it before, we talk about these guys. That is a "You Got Mossed" segment on Monday Night Countdown right there. It's Sage Surratt, and that's what he does best.
For 27 yards. Off to the left side, Beal Smith, who had a big game last week and 123 yards. Look at this grab.
I mean, that's basically making up for your quarterback because the ball's a little bit underthrown, left inside a little bit, and Sage Surratt basically says, "Look, I'm going to be better than you at the moment of truth." Goes up over Samuels, comes down with the football with strong hands.
He is certainly having an all-conference kind of a season. Quick dish here for Frutenthal, the tight end, with the catch.
Yeah, and you think about it. I mean, you just look at the receiving yards per game. He's got 9 touchdown catches. I mean, it's remarkable what he's been able to do. And I said it earlier, I think people are sleeping on his speed a little bit because we've seen him run by people. Now, we've seen a lot of him just bullying people and going up and getting the football. But I think he's more of a complete receiver than people maybe have been giving him credit for being.
6'3", about 215 pounds. Tremendously talented. Bill Smith takes a hit. Stopped by Rice eventually. Haley broke off a long one there. That was a gain of 5. They will move the chains, Tim.
With this Wake Forest offensive line getting movement, Dave.
And going quickly again with that walk-up style, which you just don't see anybody else even try to do, and it's been so effective for their offense. Gain of 3 yards there. Wake Forest, Warren Ruggiero, the offensive coordinator, he and Dave Clawson do such an amazing job on offense. Give you so many different looks and styles. Wake leading the ACC in total offense. They're averaging 540 yards per game.
And it's kind of been described as an option
Timeout,
offense.
injured Florida State player.
You know, you talk about that walk-up, you know, ride, read, mesh point, Dave, and I think it neutralizes the defense, and it's been creative by Warren Ruggiero and Dave Clawson, this offensive staff, and I think it's been a great fit for the players that they've been able to recruit here, and they've had time to develop it. You know, they've worked on it other places, and feels like they're kind of perfecting it at this point.
Well, you showed us this the other day, using quite a variety of offensive talent around you on this very field. Let's take a look.
All right, one of the most unique offenses in all of college football is Wake Forest, that long ride read with a running back. Couple things it helps them do. It helps neutralize the defensive line. If they're better than you on the defensive line, it makes it difficult for them to read. Is it run or is it pass? And so one of the things that does is helps the offensive linemen get double teams up to the next level. Take a look here. Here you go. They don't know if it's run or pass. Give the back the ball, and off he goes front side. That's the first option, and honestly what they probably want to do most of the time.
Katie George showing up in high heels, and Flag getting it done there. I couldn't help but notice you missed a terrific wide receiver there. Elizabeth Hasselbeck was wide open.
She was not open, but Troy showed us the burst of why I decided to give him the football.
Incomplete. He wanted Hinton, and a flag down with 36 seconds to go here in the first quarter.
And I think this is clean, to be honest with you. That's the shoulder of Taylor, and I think he's trying to hold up. And I know it's a defenseless receiver.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness with targeting. Number 1, defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. Previous play is under further review.
I'll take another look.
Well, listen, if they uphold this as targeting, Florida State's going to have to take some of our players from our demo and put them in the secondary.
Now, they've already lost Nasruldeen, of course, to targeting disqualified tonight. And here's Levante Taylor. They're looking at him.
Look, I see the shoulder into kind of the stomach area, you know, the rib area of Hinton. To me, this does not look like targeting, and I think that Taylor is trying to hold up. I mean, he doesn't know. There's a lot going on. He's running full speed. Hinton's running full speed. I think he actually tries to hold up. Now, I do think I would understand.
After further review, there was no targeting on the play. However, the unnecessary roughness will stand half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So no disqualification here, but another important penalty, a late hit.
Yeah, and you just see where this flag is coming from. That's a long way for that flag to be coming from the sideline when that play is happening in the middle of the field. I mean, Taylor doesn't go to the ground. I don't think that it was too late. The game moves fast. I know it's difficult, but that one to me certainly wasn't targeting. The right decision there by the officials. I'm not sure it was a late hit.
First and goal for Wake Forest, trying to add to this 6-0 lead. Off to the left side, it's Carney, and finally goes down. Durden was the man to trip him up, so winds up just a 1-yard gain. Second and goal.
This is a red zone trip here for, you know, this Wake Forest offense, where you got to try to find a way to have it not end in a field goal attempt.
Carney again trying to maneuver inside, not much there. Stopped by Amari Gaynor. The crowd doesn't like it. Pretty conservative here. And that's the end of the first quarter, with Wake Forest on top 6-0 over Florida State. That's the end of one here at Winston-Salem. We're hoping the rain stays away. We'll see if the offenses pick up as we go to the second quarter. Presented by Geico. Wake Forest knocking on the door, a 6-0 lead. Sam Hartman, the backup, who was the starter for 9 games last season. He's got a third and goal as we start the second quarter. Over the middle, and he lost that one too far. He wanted Frudenthal, the tight end, but incomplete in the end zone. And Skiba on again.
And they're really trying to get the football to Frudenthal, the tight end. They run him on a stick nod to get him there, but he gets kind of bottled up there with Dent. Really doesn't end up running a good route, and so he doesn't give the quarterback a good angle. And so that's really another nice stop in terms of really just tightening up in the red zone by this Florida State defense.
So here's Skiba from 25 yards. Looking for his third field goal of this one. And good again. He has been the offense tonight so far for the Demon Deacons in a 9-0 lead. Hey, Wednesday mornings on ACC Network, it's Packer and Durham, exclusively talking ACC sports, from football to field hockey and everything in between, every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on ACC Network and also on the ESPN app. Katie on the show just yesterday.
I haven't dealt with any rain yet on the sidelines, and as soon as we wrap up here, Packer, you best believe I'm going down to the Belk, and I'm going to get a rain jacket and a hat and some boots the whole 9 yards.
And Katie, is that where you went to do your shopping?
Not a meteorologist or anything, you guys, but it is not raining, and I am wondering why I bought this jacket and these boots, and I even have a hat in my bag.
Yeah, that's why.
Well,
right
you can't see the radar, Katie, but just let me tell you, I don't think you need to go shopping. It doesn't look like there's any rain coming.
Where were you yesterday, Tim?
There's nothing on the horizon.
Okay, beautiful. Well,
yeah.
for future reference.
I'm not sure if you want to take my word for it, because the radar is actually pretty ugly.
Not sure. It looks pretty ugly from what we just saw, but we'll keep an eye on it for you, Katie. It is a 9-0 Wake Forest lead. And Florida State to take over on offense in search of their 4th victory of the season. They have won 7 in a row over Wake Forest and 9 of the last 10. FSU 9-3 all time here in Winston-Salem. Keep in mind, FSU defeated the Louisville team that just scored 62 points against Wake right here last Saturday. Well, big story tonight for Florida State, if you think it is a big story, is James Blackman as the starting quarterback again, but that was a decision they reached, the coaching staff, last night. Akers not much of a gain there off the left, and Rucker with the stop. He picked up 2. Obviously deciding, Tim, between Blackman and Hornibrook and who would take over, and the quarterback they intended to stick with.
Yeah, and I think sticking with somebody is what they need to do at this point, and it appears to be James Blackman. And the rotation of the 2 quarterbacks, I didn't think helped either guy play better.
He's going to throw to that sideline, trying to break free. Wilson with a nice gain. He picks up the first down. Shoved out by Bassey, but a 16-yard gain for Willie Taggart's team.
You know, Willie, I think, had an interesting decision to make. He had a close competition in training camp. He felt like James Blackman was the leader. But when Alex Hornibrook came in and played, he played a little bit better than James Blackman.
He's going to go long and intended for Terry. Scary Terry, the highly respected wideout. Of his 13 career touchdown catches, he's averaged over 43 yards on those.
And these are plays that he has to make. Lead the guy across the field when there's no one in the middle of the field and you're throwing a post route. Lead him across the field rather than up the field. Let him run underneath it. He doesn't do that. And those are the plays that James Blackman needs to make if he wants to stay the starting quarterback.
There's room to run. He's down the left side. Scampering out of bounds. A missed tackle there by Bassey at a big gain.
And that's why I don't know why we don't see more of it. I think Willie Taggart would like to see more of it. This is all on the running back. Bounces it outside. Bassey can't get him down. And now you have a big play by your running back without it being blocked perfectly.
Gain of 32. He'll throw again and complete. Knocked out of bounds. That's McKinney to tight end. Bassey denying him the end zone.
It's a good play design. It's a post-wheel combination. McKinney is running the wheel, and Blackman did a nice job there of being on time with the throw.
That's a gain of 19. First and goal for the Noles. He'll dump it off and incomplete off the hand of McKinney. Second and goal for Florida State.
Those are little throws. I mean, that's a throw the flat to McKitty that walks in for a touchdown. I know he's under some pressure.
Flag down here. It was a late flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Automatic first down.
Now coming off the edge here, Strnad gets his hands up into the face of James Blackman, and that, you know, that we've seen called all season long as roughing the passer. With that being said, I have to be honest, Dave, I don't think I've ever seen a roughing the passer flag thrown as late as that one was just thrown.
That felt like it took about 30 minutes.
I think it was about 15 seconds after the play actually happened. They get it right. It's the right call. It was unusual to see it come in there.
So first and goal on the handoff. It's Akers right into the end zone for a touchdown. Florida State strikes from 2 yards out. And for Cam Akers, the 21st touchdown of his career.
It's good patience by Cam Akers. You're going to see a little jump cut in the hole. Florida State's offensive line stalemates them just enough to get a little bit of movement, and this is why we talk about it. It's why Willie Taggart wants to see the ball in his hands much more.
Ricky Aguayo on for the point after. He's 22 for 22. Florida State on the board, and they add the point after to make it 9-7.
Good response by this Florida State offense. Cam Akers able to punch it in down in tight.
Call 1-800-251-6586 or go to hydromoose.com.
Let's take a look at tonight's Players Spotlight, brought to you by Geico.
You look at Cam Akers, he's a guy that they really need to get the ball to. You think about Willie Taggart telling us, hey, he needs the ball more, and we asked him, well, what do you need to do to get him the ball more? And he just basically said, call more runs. That's what we'll do, call more runs. It's so easy formula when you have a talented back like Cam Akers.
Well, he is the bell cow. 8 100-yard rushing days already in his career. So Akers, he may be the man in the offense the rest of the season. The 5'11", 210-pound junior from Clinton, Mississippi.
And you just look at it, I mean, he's averaging over 12 yards per carry now. They do need to give him the football more. This one, he just bounces it outside. You see the good stiff arm, gets out into space. He's got great speed, great patience here on the touchdown. They do need to give him the ball more because his production has been so good. And then you think about how good his production's been with how bad the offensive line play around him has been. You know, I think it's one of these things where I think it'll help your offensive line play better the more you give him the ball.
Well, talented freshman Kenneth Walker in at a running back here for Wake Forest. The pitch to him and driven out. Kenneth Walker can certainly be an explosive runner. He picks up nothing. In fact, lost a yard.
A little speed option that was really well played by Florida State, just stringing it out, and then good pursuit to the ball.
2nd and 11 for Hartman. Good pass for Surratt. Surratt with a catch, but Samuels on him. That's proving to be an outstanding matchup tonight. That gains 5 yards.
That is a great matchup, and it seems like Florida State has done a good job. Think about the disappointing loss they had a week ago. They've come out, especially when you think about the injuries, the targeting foul that was upheld. Pretty good energy and effort, especially the defensive side of the ball.
You can't blink with either one of these offenses as fast as they want to go, but that drive shut down very quickly. And on 4th and 6, they're going to punt. So 12:37 to go before halftime here at Wake, and the Demon Deacons with a 9-7 lead. Don Maggio, one of the better punters in the ACC, with DJ Matthews back at the 30. And he drives a beauty. Matthews back inside the 10. Trying to get free. Gets away from a couple of men, but knocked down at the 15. That was by the tight end Frudenthal. Well, Taggart was talking this week about recovering from the pounding they took at the hands of the Clemson Tigers.
We're not going to be the team that we want to be until we become a player-led football team, you know, and just to see Marvin doing that on the sideline. I mean, Marvin made the team run yesterday for pouting, you know, for having the head down on the sideline, because that's what we said we weren't going to do, you know. So holding his teammates accountable to what we say we're going to do was big, and guys, they did what he asked to do. We're going to run for this. Yes, hell, I'll run with you. You know, it's good to see our guys doing that, man.
Got after his teammates for not playing for the Seminoles, but playing for the name on the back of those jerseys. And for more on that story, let's toss it down to Katie.
I asked Marvin Wilson pregame what compelled him to put his team back on the line time and time again. He said accountability. It had to start coming from within the team. Some of my teammates did not want to run, but I wanted to remind them that this season is far from over. We still have 6 winnable games on the schedule, and it needed to start here with Wake.
You know, the NCAA strength of schedule ranking, FSU has played the nation's toughest schedule. Their opponents have combined to go 24-6 so far. Marvin doesn't want to hear anything about that.
No, he doesn't. He's a guy that is respected by his teammates because he's probably their best player. And then he's one of their hardest workers. And
a heck of an effort here by Matthews, trying to make a spectacular one-handed catch, but incomplete. And stopped by Red.
And that's a throw again that James Blackman needs to make. You see Matthews is open. DJ Matthews going up in traffic for the football. You'd like to see him try to use 2 hands rather than just sticking 1 hand up for it, but that's a ball where you need to put right on the wide receiver. Don't try to, you know, force him to make a circus catch.
So 3rd and 7 for James Blackman to throw again. Pressure on him, and he's dragged down. Sacked by Johns. He was shot out of a cannon and got to the quarterback quickly.
Yeah, and really, it's a bad job of the guys up front not recognizing what they're doing. You're getting pressure off the side here. You need your left tackle. Watch your left tackle. He doesn't even block anybody. That's Bello. He just sets back looking inside, and you've got an edge rusher pressure. At least get a hand out there. You know, and you just look at the sacks so many times for Florida State. It isn't because they're getting physically beat. It's because they don't know who to block.
Tommy Martin on to punt. Hinton has already had one erased because of a penalty. Fair catch here. 9-7. Wake with the lead on FSU.
Well, after Blackman got sacked on that last one, he went straight to his O-line on the sidelines and said, "Where were you guys? You at least have to help me up. Don't leave me hanging out there." Accountability seems to be the theme for this FSU team.
Yeah, something they continue to work on despite the best efforts of their best defensive player, Marvin Wilson. Bill Smith with a carry, and that went for 7, Tim.
That's an amazing visual right there. Quarterback gets hit on an unblocked defender, and no one's there to help the quarterback up.
Hartman throwing as a receiver. It's Surratt down the left side. And finally taken down. Dent preventing a touchdown. And shaken up on the play. But Surratt, 51 yards.
It's an amazing job here by Surratt, but you're going to get a corner blitz. Now the safety is going to come over the top to try to cover it, and then it's just a double move to get on top. And so you see it there. There goes the safety blitz, or excuse me, the corner blitz, and then Taylor overruns it. It's a really good job of the Wake Forest offense of having a protection to pick it up to be able to get the ball to Surratt.
Well, Surratt had just had a great game against Louisville. 196 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. He's caught a touchdown in 8 consecutive games. Akeem Dent, who prevented a touchdown there, he's the man on his back for the Seminoles with 10:20 to go before halftime. And Wake with a 51-yard pass play.
And we've said it a few times now, Dave. You think about, you know, there's Dent with the injury. Nasruddin is out. Florida had all kinds of injuries. That's the last thing that Florida State needs against an offense that put up 59 points a week ago.
And Surratt, by the way, already, Tim, with 150 receiving yards in the game with 5 catches.
which is incredible, which goes back to, you know, when I first was watching him, I'm thinking, okay, hey, this guy's good in the red zone. He kind of uses his body well. But he gets big plays all over the field. It's not just about being big in the red zone. He runs a number of different routes, runs them well, does a good job of running the intermediate routes, so you can't just play off of him. And his production, once again, jumping off the screen.
And up here for Bill Smith, spinning away, still up, but finally he is dragged down by Taylor and Robinson. But very elusive 2-yard pickup. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Look at Wake without a touchdown and 3 red zone possessions, trying to change that script right now. Christian Beal Smith stacked up again. And stopped by Marvin Wilson. Another tackle for him. FSU's defensive captain looking forward to a very, very bright NFL future. But right now, not very happy with his teammates. 3rd down and 7 for Wake. Hartman looking for a man in the end zone, but incomplete, intended for Hinton. And good pressure by Corey Durden.
Good pressure by Durden. This was the similar play where they tried to get the tight end, you know, on a kind of a stick pump, and it was a great read by Sam Hartman. He just misfires just a touch to Hinton, who's going to the corner. And yet again, it's a stop in the red zone in terms of Wake Forest, you know, settling for a field goal because of the way that Florida State is able to basically bend but not break.
Now Skiba trying to hit another one, this one from 27 yards. He has been perfect all season long on both field goals and the PATs, and this one is good. That'll make it 12-7. Wake still in front. Well, Tim, Wake is getting into the red zone. 4 possessions in the red zone, but have settled for 4 field goals.
And at some point, you're going to have to cash in, especially against a Florida State offense that has the ability to score a lot of points. They've got playmakers on the outside. And, you know, talked about Sam Hartman being the starting quarterback, not having Jamie Newman. Jamie Newman, a tremendous runner, 230 pounds, a physical runner. They like to use him in the red zone. I think that's an element that they're missing.
So nothing but field goals for the Demon Deacons. Florida State, 1 touchdown. 2 of the better offenses, of course, you're going to see this season in the ACC. And that one out of bounds.
Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
9:15 to go here in the first half. Great to have you with us here in our primetime game on a Saturday night on the beautiful campus of Wake Forest. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, Katie George alongside. Katie waiting for the rain to fall. All geared up, but we have not seen a drop of rain yet. Maybe it's going to miss us tonight. We'll see.
You think it might miss us?
It's going to be close.
You think it'll be close?
I don't think it's missing us. I think we're going to be in a deluge in about an hour myself, but we shall see. So Blackman taking over again. He's got Cam Akers. We'll see if they use him a lot more here the rest of tonight. He's already pounded one in for a touchdown. That's a gain of 5. Now, last week for Wake Forest, very uncharacteristic, turning the ball over as often as they did.
Player.
A man down. Fabian Johnson, the center, is shaken up for the Seminoles. 8:54 to go in the second quarter. And Andrew Baselli is starting to warm up, the backup center.
And you're just going to see as Cam Akers, you know, kind of is getting down the field. You see Roberts, the right tackle, you know, just roll up on the backside of Fabian Johnson there. And it's ugly. It's why you see these linemen wear these knee braces and look like he was trying to go, and then.
Yeah. And then went right down.
And a little just kind of known fact for people to watch when they see a lineman say, well, why couldn't he get himself off the field, or a quarterback do the same thing? Guys are coached at quarterback and at center like if you're injured and you can't go down, so you allow your backup to either take a snap, get ready to go. It's important for the center and the quarterback to have that opportunity. And we saw Andrew Baselli getting ready there.
So Johnson will be helped off, 6'3", 305-pound junior from Lakeland, Florida, will give way to Baselli.
Was the son of Tony Baselli, 1995 second overall draft pick out of USC, 5-time Pro Bowler. Obviously a very, very good left tackle in the NFL for a long time.
And the son of big guy, 6'5", 310 pounds. And will take over at center. 2nd down and 5. Akers along with Blackman. He wants to roll right and out of bounds. Let's get out to Katie.
You guys, I can report it has started to rain, and I don't really know if I'm happy or sad about this news, but it is coming down slowly.
I can help you.
Sparsely.
I can help you with how you're going to feel about it. You should not be happy about it because it'll be cold and wet.
No, I think somewhere in the 3rd quarter she's going to be very, very unhappy down there. 3rd down and 5. And 12-7, Wake Forest. 2 very, very potent offenses, but the defenses really have been the story so far this evening. Plenty of time to throw, looking downfield, and now we'll throw long. A battle for this one. It'll be knocked away. Nice job by Jasir Taylor, the corner, working on Harrison to deny him. There is a flag down.
Holding, number 4, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
So an automatic 1st down on the hold against the Demon Deacons and against Amari Henderson.
And Amari Henderson got beat a week ago on a slant and go, and he's driving on this slant here and just ends up grabbing Wilson there. He hooks him. And that's defensive holding. That's the right call by the officials, and a big break for for Florida State's offense.
And again, some big penalties against the Demon Deacons, who don't have many. Right up the gut is Akers for the gain, stopped by Williams, but he'll pick up 6.
Just look at it. Last, 1st down, it was 5 yards on 1st down, 6 yards on 1st down. I just want to get away from this. There's no reason to stop giving Cam Akers the football.
Indeed, why would you? Such a punishing back, too. Tough to take down on that first hit. Another run as he picks up 4 and a 1st down, so they'll move the chains. Under 8 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Cam Akers again, big hole up the middle, can't stop him right away, and he keeps on churning.
That's exactly what I mean, though. Why stop giving him the football when you keep getting, big production out of the run game?
Oh, FSU with another man down. Brady Scott, the left guard, the big guy, 6'6", about 310. Florida State with a lot of men down tonight. But Akers, oh, you see that Scott as he went down on that effort. That line getting banged up for FSU. That is Brady Scott going to the medical tent.
You think about, tempo. A big part of tempo is the conditioning of your offensive line, but also those guys getting up and getting set. And, of your interior 3, you've got 2 backups and a true freshman.
And Darius Washington now in, and Akers finally dragged down by Trey Rucker. But he could have gone all the way. That's a 9-yard gain.
I mean this. The only way I wouldn't hand Cam Akers the ball is if he's too tired and Laborn's in the game.
Right now, they don't have much of an answer for him. Right over the middle, and that one's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Wake Forest and by Chase Monroe, the middle linebacker. It was right to him.
I'm just going to say right now, it's a bad play calling. You've got a left tackle that gets beat by Carlos Basham. and your quarterback gets hit, and I don't know that there's any reason for it. Darius Washington's in at left tackle. He's not normally playing in that spot. You see your left tackle here is going to end up getting beat. And so, you know, you've been getting about 7 yards a clip running the football. I don't know why you get away from it.
A pressure throw. And Monroe with the pick. And did not have to work overly hard to get it. So Wake will take over with the football. Carney getting the handoff. And Wilson there to say hello. It's a gain of 4 yards. So 2nd down and 6. Less than 7 minutes to go before halftime. So far, nothing but field goals tonight for the Demon Deacons. On to keep is Hartman. But they get to him quickly. Quarterback Sam Hartman going down. Dennis Briggs with a tackle. He lost a yard. I've been watching Hornibrook, of course, still warming up. As you said, probably just to stay warm more than anything else. Back to throw Hartman. Good protection. Rifles it. And a big hit and a completion to Hinton.
That's an important first down for this Wake Forest offense. It would have been brutal for a quick 3-and-out there. Good job of Hinton, the former quarterback, just feeling the soft spot in the zone.
9-yard gain for the first down. Walks it up again for Carney. Trying to center of that line, but he's stopped. And a play continuing here after the whistles. They continue to push and shove. It looks like Marvin Wilson is down now. Florida State getting bitten by the injury bug. Even if they're not keeping him out of the game very long, he is fast to his feet, but needing some help to get off the field.
I mean, you just think about it. I mean, I could keep saying it, but Kando, you know, Warner, Lars Woodby, Azrael Dean's out for targeting. You know, Cyrus Fagan. I mean, there's just been so many players, you know, that have been injured for the Florida State. And so you just get a sense there's Wilson there. And the play did kind of continue.
He just kind of crumbled to the turf there. Pocket collapsing, and now Hartman running for his life. He'll throw, and boy, a tough play there. Hinton hauling that one in on the completion. Samuel with the stop, but a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, and it's a really nice second reaction play by Hartman, and then you just see, you know, he kind of slows Hinton down a little bit with the football. Great presence in the pocket, good job. And then the great understanding by Hinton, again, the former quarterback, having a nice feel.
3rd and 2 from the 33-yard line. From the shotgun, throws to the sideline, off the hands of Washington, who's been really quiet in this one. Really quiet.
He has been quiet, and I'm surprised with all the attention that goes to Surratt that there aren't more opportunities for Scotty Washington. And I think this one's just too far outside the framework of the wide receiver. He's 6'5", he's really long, and that ball's high and away. If Hartman puts that right into his chest, I think Wake Forest is looking at a first down.
So DJ Matthews back at the 20-yard line to receive the punt by Maggio. 12-7 Wake. And he drills this one. Fair catch. So Florida State will take over on the offense. And Blackman back out there again. That was a 54-yard punt. Look at his first 3 starts compared to the last 3.
Yeah, and the interception, you know, tonight, you know, not his fault, but you just look at James Blackman. I think you can help him. I think you can help him by running the football. Cam Akers has 10 rushes for 80 yards and a touchdown. And I think until Wake Forest proves to you that they can stop him, I think you keep handing him the football. Rather than being in a situation where you've got some banged up offensive linemen and you've got some new guys playing in their place, to put your quarterback in a situation where he's getting hit as he's throwing the football.
Yeah, it certainly sounded like to us, talking with the coaches, that was the intention, to give it to number 3, and that's the reason why, because he can bust free like that.
And listen, that is a shoestring tackle away from being, you know, an 85-yard plus touchdown. I mean, Kobe Davis barely gets him down.
Gained 11 on that one. They give him the football again. Akers continuing to churn on his way to 100 yards in the first half. He's very close to that. He just picked up 8 more. 2nd down and 2. Akers tries to spin. Spins again. Nothing this time.
Just ran the same exact play 3 times in a row. This same exact play. Listen, I'm for giving Cam Akers the ball every play. I don't know that I repeat the same run 3 times. But I just, looking at this offense here, I think there needs to be elements of understanding where you're vulnerable. I won't be surprised if you just go right back to him on 3rd and 3.
Remembering, too, he's also an outstanding receiver. He's got great hands. They rate him 10 out of 10 as a receiver. So he can do that, too, but none tonight. Not yet, anyway. 3rd down and 3. Going to throw short. Out into the flat and caught by Wilson, dragged down by Bassie. Check the spot on that one, a gain of 4, and they'll pick up the 1st.
Yeah, and as you just look at, I think they're going to give him forward progress. Catches the ball there. It's the right decision not to review that one.
1st and 10. Blackman, great job getting free, and he'll dive ahead. Well, that could have been a disastrous play, but he made something out of nothing. He picks up 8. 2nd down and 2. Coming up on 3 minutes to go before the half here at Wake Forest. It's Akers again. Well, you just can't take him down on that first hit.
It's never the first guy. It never is. And I think that's one of the reasons you just rely on him. And his first down success has been remarkable. You just find ways. He's their best offensive player. Just find ways for him to touch it as many different ways as you can.
14 rushes, 100 yards, and a touchdown from 2 yards out. The only touchdown for either team here in the first half. The Seminoles on the drive here. About 2.5 minutes before the break. Blackman to throw, short, and that one caught by Neighbors. Neighbors, the tight end, eventually brought down. Huge gain. Nasir Greer with the tackle.
It's a pretty cool play design here. They're just going to sneak Neighbors out inside here. They're going to basically feel like it's run, like they're running right at him. He just inserts. The linebackers aren't ready for it. You see Strnad stumble, not able to respond right away.
Akers trying to dance inside and stopped. Strnad there to meet him along with Kamara. So 2nd down and 10 on a play that did not gain an inch.
And see, that little play to Neighbors is exactly what you can do when you're running the football well. Run it well with Cam Akers. Run it well with Cam Akers. Run it well. And then next thing you know, it's that little bluff block by your fullback, and then you get a decent play out of it.
Cam Akers, the driving force on this drive. Here he is now, off to the right, banging ahead. Can't take him down on the first hit once more.
The combination of balance and power out of Cam Akers is remarkable, as James Blackman just kind of pitches it to him as he's in a little bit of trouble, gets some blocking down the field. But how about the run through the tackle from Hussein Bassie? I mean, it literally is like looking at Todd Gurley from the Rams a year ago, a guy who was just such great balance, power, and ability to finish.
Punishing. 1st and 10. Another first down for the Noles. Here's the throw and dropped. Terry had it right there, but incomplete. Pretty good pressure there by Bothroyd.
And they're trying to fake the bubble and then hit a seam down the middle, and they end up getting Terry. That ball is right into the chest of Tamarian Terry, Florida State's best receiver. He just needs to make that play.
He does not miss many like that. Akers into the pile. Johns with the stop. And the clock running at 1:16 to go. They lose a yard on that play, so brings up 3rd down and 12. And a timeout. Florida State. 1:14 to go here. Terry with a drop there, and as we say, you might go another 3 weeks before seeing anything close to that.
Yeah, and then I think he got a little bit banged up on the play, and I think it's why Florida State called a timeout. And when I look at Florida State's offense, and I'm not trying to be critical of it, their best player is Cam Akers. You need to get him the football. It will help your defense that is really banged up facing an offense that wants to run 100-plus plays a game.
Sure. Are you talking about one of the great players in the ACC, one of the top running backs in the country? And the coaching staff has talked about it here in recent days, the need, the willingness to get him the football as much as possible.
And Willie Taggart told us we need to get him the ball more. He had 9 carries last week against Clemson, and obviously the game got out of hand a little bit. But
yeah, he was held to 34 yards in that one, limited carries.
We asked him, what do you need to do? He said, call more runs. And I think on a night like tonight, I don't know if you can call enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I would call him until the point where he's like, hey, coach, I'm tired. I have to come out.
And it wasn't just call more runs. It was call more runs for number 3.
Yes.
3rd down 12 for James Blackman. Looking to throw. Now looking to move. Great pass there. It's Akers. Akers, he dives in for the touchdown. They get it to number 3 again. Terrific effort by Blackman to find him. A 19-yard touchdown.
It is a great play by James Blackman of having competitiveness in the pocket because he's getting all kinds of pressure, including pressure in his face. And it's a little burst route by Cam Akers. And again, it's getting the football in his hands. You said it, Dave. 10 out of 10 as a receiver. Good hands, and then one guy isn't going to get him down.
So Florida State jumping in front. And Aguayo looking at on the point after here with 1:08 to go before the break. And that makes it 14-12 FSU. They have both of the touchdowns that have been scored on this field here in the first half.
And it's a really nice job of James Blackman of having poise in the pocket. He's going to get pressure up the field. The other thing that's going to happen is Smenda, this linebacker, is going to end up giving pressure in his face as he climbs. So there's the pressure up the field, climb in the pocket, pressure in your face by Smenda, but still able to get that football out. Good accurate throw to allow Cam Akers to stay on the run. And he's just too good in the open field for one guy to bring him down. What a great effort by the quarterback and running back. And you think about Florida State, 2 trips to the red zone, 2 scores by way of touchdown. You think about Wake Forest, 4 trips, 4 field goals.
And you're exactly right. That's a great effort by both guys. Look at the body control to dump off that short pass, airborne by James Blackman. That's a great play.
And it's always hard for a quarterback. You know, when guys are rushing up the field, it's easy to climb into the pocket. You're going forward, your eyes are downfield, you see receivers. But when you have pressure coming right at you and you know you're going to get hit in the chin, it's hard to make an accurate throw. That's why James Blackman, that's such an impressive play, is because as Smenda's hitting him right in the chest, that ball is in an accurate place where Cam Akers can go do something with it.
So FSU out in front, 14-12, just about a minute to go in the first half. So 1:08 left for Wake Forest to try and do something with. They have had 4 opportunities inside the red zone where they have not scored a touchdown. They've settled for a field goal every time so far. And that's getting a little bit tiresome for their fan base. 1st and 10 for Hartman. And Carney stopped by Robinson. And no gain. And Wilson back in. Marvin Wilson, the All-America candidate at 6'5", 310. Shaken up several minutes ago, but he has returned to the fray. And that is great news for Seminole fans, because they have had some guys nicked up tonight. And Nasruddin, one of the great defenders in the conference, has been disqualified for targeting in the opening minutes.
And Wake Forest typically likes to go really, really fast.
Hartman's going long, and too long, intended for Scotty Washington, who Florida State has done a tremendous job of quieting.
It's almost like Wake Forest was trying to set up Florida State with their lack of tempo there. They're used to going so fast. They slow it down, trying to lull Florida State defense to sleep a little bit, and then they try a double move to Scotty Washington, just not able to connect.
So 3rd down and 10, final seconds of the second quarter here at Winston-Salem. And it's Carney off to the left, where he is knocked off his feet by Emmett Rice. Gain of 2 yards. Well, that man has been a story of the first half for FSU. Cam Akers, over 100 yards. He has been sensational.
He's been incredible. He's got 18 touches, 16 by way of the ground, and you know what he can do as a runner. He creates so much offense on his own when things aren't blocked perfectly. Always does a great job of falling forward, and now we're seeing him show up in the passing game. It's something that this Florida State coaching staff has talked about trying to do more of, and he's delivered there. 2 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown, and that awesome effort into the end zone.
Sailing Superman style into the end zone. So 16 rushes for Cam. And right now giving him 98 yards. On average 6.1 yards per carry. 4th down and 8. Even Diggins to punt. Matthews back. And that'll bounce all the way down near the 10-yard line with 2 seconds showing on the clock. Florida State to receive the second half kickoff, by the way. That punt goes for 63 yards. So just inside the 10-yard line. And FSU with the 14-12 lead. And on the back of a great back, but also an outstanding pass play there by Blackman for that touchdown moments ago.
And if you're Florida State, I think what halftime will allow you to do is it'll allow you to try to figure out and regroup along that offensive line. You've had balance on offense, 23 rushes, 23 passes. Try to figure out where you're vulnerable and how you can continue to feature Cam Akers. And oh, by the way, Dave, we've talked about it. When we come out of halftime, we could be in a situation where weather's a factor.
Well, that very well could be the case. It's, if anything, very, very light rain, but that seems to have come and gone. Let's go downstairs to Katie with Willie Taggart.
Thanks, Dave. Willie, your offense started to click in that second quarter. What was the difference? Feeding Cam Akers?
Absolutely. You know, giving him the ball. He's running the ball really, really hard, and he wants the ball every time we're out there. But we're doing a good job running the football, and I think that's what got us going.
Now, on the opposite side, your defense holds Wake to 4 field goals. What impressed you about their performance in the first half?
Just for them bending but not breaking. You know, Wake drove the ball down there, but our guys hung tough and held them to 3, and that was big time for us.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Hung tough, even with the big fella stepping out for a while, Wilson, but he did return, and that is very, very good news for Florida State. Akers has been tremendous here in the first half and right after the short break. Jack Collinsworth and the gang will join you for ACC Network Halftime Report. Alongside Tim Hasselbeck, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I think Florida State just needs to continue to feed Cam Akers. He's been the best player on the field. And for Wake Forest, they need somebody other than Sage Strat to make a play, especially down in the red zone.
Rain falling. We've kind of been waiting for it all night. Not that we've been cheering for the idea. Harrison to take it out. Florida State with the football to begin the second half. And a moment ago, Katie George with Coach Clausen.
Dave, your offense kicked 4 field goals in that first half. What do you need to do to get into the end zone?
I mean, you know, we got to find a way to get in. I mean, they've, you know, we're not running the ball well down there. I think we had some opportunities to make plays in the passing game. You know, we overthrew the double move. We overthrew the speed out. There's plays there. We got to make them.
You said containing Cam Akers would be a challenge. How do you slow him down moving forward?
You know, I thought early we did a good job, and then the second half, you know, we didn't tackle as well. We stopped wrapping up, and he's an elite back, and if you don't tackle him firm, he's going to break tackles.
Thanks for the time.
Thanks.
They swing it outside for Terry for the gain. And Cam Akers, 98 yards officially in the first half. This pass play goes for 7. Well, Dave Clawson is one of the top offensive minds really in all of college football, trying to find a way to get going against FSU. To their credit, losing one of their best defenders. For a while, they did lose their best guy in Marvin Wilson. They overcame that and have held them to nothing but field goals tonight.
Yeah, that's been a bright spot for Florida State, as has Cam Akers.
Blackman tied up, nowhere to run there. Basham gets to him quickly.
I don't want to just beat a dead horse over this, but you open up the second half here, in your first 2 plays, you don't hand number 3 the football. He's the best player that's playing on this field tonight. He just has been, and you need to get him the ball, especially once the weather starts to come into play.
He is often the best player on the field when he takes to the gridiron in the ACC. 3rd down and 4. Evading a tackler, now the throw, it's going to be incomplete. Blackman looking for the gain off the hands of Wilson.
I mean, listen, I said he's the best player on the field. Watch Cam Akers in pass protection here take a hit off of James Blackman. Now Blackman drifts a little bit too much and isn't able to make the throw. But that's the kind of football player that you have. And I think that plays like that are indicative of who you have on the field and why you need to continue to give him the football. He's averaging over 6 yards per carry. You do the math, hand it to him twice. There's a good shot. You got a first down to open up the second half.
Yeah, and that block that you just showed, I mean, that's the essence of an all-purpose back, isn't it? I mean, doing everything.
It really is. We've seen him in the passing game catching the ball. You see a great job there. I just think he's a good football player. Your offense is struggling a bit. Your quarterback's not playing well. You've got injured offensive linemen. Feed him. He basically is what makes everything go.
Now on the other side for Wake Forest, it's been a frustrating night for them. And for the backup, Sam Hartman, Jamie Newman, unable to go with a banged-up shoulder. They actually feared he had broken his clavicle last weekend. They x-rayed him. That was negative, thank goodness. And on a short pass, that was to Chapman, but incomplete. So we'll bring up 2nd down here for Hartman. And you mentioned this. He's got to get somebody other than Sage Surratt, who had a tremendous first half. 150 yards in pass receptions. He was outstanding. They've got to find somebody else. And again, he goes to Chapman, the tight end. This time complete.
Yeah, they need to find somebody else, and they also just need to find a way in the red zone. And Dave Clawson was right. They miss on the double move. Freudenthal got tangled up, and they miss Hinton on a speed out. Sam Hartman is not the runner that Jamie Newman is. He needs to start making plays in the passing game. And oh my word, look at that catch by Kendall Hinton.
One-handed grab by the senior from Durham, North Carolina. Look at this.
This is outstanding because it's a terrible throw by Sam Hartman. You should miss outside on an out-breaking route. He misses inside. And what a great play by Hinton.
Hartman back. He's going to throw it again. And out of bounds, caught by Surratt to bring up 2nd down and 10. Well, Surratt coming off a great game, 3 touchdowns against Louisville in the loss last weekend. He's had 5 100-yard games and having an all ACC first team kind of a year, maybe more than that. Airing it out again. And tight to the sideline there to Washington. Now, will he be the go-to guy in the second half?
I think he needs to be. Right there, Florida State rotated to a single high man-to-man coverage, and so you have one-on-one with Asante Samuel Jr., and that's a matchup that Wake should like.
I'm going to throw on 3rd down and 5. It's short, incomplete. He wanted Surratt again.
Yeah, and that's just not a good throw. Sam Hartman needs to give his big wide receiver a chance, and he just skips that one to him.
That's one of the things that they love about Jamie Newman, using these big receivers expertly.
And Dave Clawson said to us a week ago when we were getting ready to watch Jamie Newman play, he said he throws such a catchable ball. That's what's nice about it. And I think one of the challenges that you've seen here is that Sam Hartman hasn't always given his receivers a chance.
Not the punt away, but that could have been disastrous for Wake Forest. With Matthews back there, 12:20 to go here in the 3rd, and 14-12 Florida State, well, they had the momentum, and they're continuing that. Nearly a muff punt. He did get it away. On a Saturday night in the ACC, Florida State with a 14-12 lead on Wake Forest, and the Noles have the football, 1st and 10. And Akers wrapped up, had nowhere to go off that left side. Deion Bergen, first man to meet him, and took him down. That's a loss of 3.
That's Dante Lucas just gets beat inside. Doesn't allow Cam Akers to really get going, and that's why Bergen's able to be in the backfield to make a play.
2nd down and 13. Blackman. He slips a tackle. It's Akers. And trying to move on that left side, stopped by Williams.
And Carlos Basham is able to get to James Blackman, beats Roberts inside, and James Blackman's just able to have enough strength in the pocket to escape it before he finds Cam Akers. Good play. That's 2 good plays in the pocket of just that competitiveness by James Blackman.
And again, it could have been a disastrous play, but gains 5, 3rd down and 8. And a key call here early in the 3rd quarter for the Noles. He'll look to throw. Guns it short. And that one complete to McKinney, the tight end. And McKinney barreling forward, stopped by Sternad. And that went for 7, so they're short a yard. 4th down and 1.
And with the lead, with the way your defense has played, not giving up a touchdown today, I would punt this football. I get it, Cam Akers run the football well, but I don't know that you need to do anything to spark up the Wake Forest offense.
Going to go for it here on 4th and 1. Akers finds himself a seam up the middle, and there he goes for the 1st down and then some. So there is your bell cowed work as he picks up 7.
Yeah, it's a risky decision. It ends up paying off for him. It's a good job, Cam Akers, lowering that pad level and pushing for the 1st down, as you see Kendall Byers, the offensive coordinator, and how fast they want to operate.
This time a keep by Blackman and shut down by Taylor, but a gain of 2. Bryles wants to be foot on the gas. Akers again along with Blackman. Cam Akers rumbling up the middle for another gain. He'll pick up 6.
That's a really nice block by Andrew Baselli. We saw him, he came in for the injured Bavian Johnson, doing an excellent job of getting movement at the point of attack.
Akers again, room to rumble. Out to the 30. Nasir Greer finally stopped him, but that's a pickup of 8 yards.
And this is what, I mean, you see Florida State's offensive line now getting movement. You know, a hat on a hat, giving Akers somewhere to go with the football. It's one of these things, it's like a snowball effect. Once you start running the football well, it kind of energizes that offensive line.
Blackman lofts it up there. Terry, the intended receiver.
The pass intended for number 15.
Covered by Bassey. He was right there with Terry. And good quarterback pressure by Ja'Cory Johns. Florida State with a 14-12 lead, looking to add on with 9:13 to go in the 3rd. 2nd and 10 for James Blackman. And again, Akers avoiding one man, spinning again. More yards for number 3.
This is an amazing play by Cam Akers. You're going to see Williams is unblocked in the backfield. Look at that cut, and then he's able to put his foot in the ground and get skinny and get inside. Justin Sternad, who's a tremendous tackler, just runs right through that. I mean, that's a running back making a guy miss behind the line of scrimmage. Should be a negative play, picking up a 1st down.
Yeah, and 12 yards, a man down. Justin Sternad, key man, top tackler for Wake Forest, and we'll be back.
He's up and he just kicked a chair. He's obviously very, very frustrated with the injury right now.
All right, Katie, thank you very much. First down and 10 at the 9-minute mark here in the third. On the drive again, it's Akers, stopped by Basham. Eventually, now Wake is acting like they have recovered a fumble on the play with 8:52 to go. Nope, FSU will keep it. 2-yard pickup. Yeah, he is very upset having to leave the ball game. And they're trying to attend to him, and certainly a key man defensively for the Demon Deacons.
He's been their leader, their best tackler, and that is a massive loss to not have him inside there.
And particularly the way number 3 is rolling here for FSU. Cam Akers with another 100-yard rushing game. He's going to run again, straight ahead. Bassey with the stop, and the ball loose here. Wake again indicating that they have the football, and they do on a turnover. The Demon Deacons. Kamara comes out of there with it. He recovers the fumble. Akers saying, I was down, I was down.
And it's Bassey who comes off the edge here, and he's just going to get his shoulder in on that football. And let's take a look. Yeah, his knees are not down as that ball is coming out, and it looks like Corey Johns is swiping at the football there, 41. And that ball sneaks out, and you know, it's wet now. You know, I know it's not raining, you know, like as heavy as we maybe thought that it would, or maybe it will later tonight, but it's wet. And so when you're going at a fast pace, you're not switching out the football. You know, it's a lot of times it's the same football, which means it's soaking wet. And you know, we talked to Willie Taggart about the preparation for playing in a rain game, and they really said they haven't played many rain games. There wasn't a whole lot they could do about it.
So a fumble here. We'll see if this is the turnaround that the Demon Deacons have been looking for tonight as they force the fumble. It was really hard to see the knee here.
His knees are off the ground there, and that ball's out.
The call is going to stand.
On the field, stand. First down.
So 8:16 left in the third. A turnover for the Seminoles. Wake will take over. They have yet to punch it in for a touchdown. All of their points tonight on field goals. Beal Smith in at the running back. He had a big game against Louisville last Saturday, 123 yards, career high. But Hartman back in the pocket looking to throw. Goes short and complete. That one caught by the tight end. Brudenthal still trying to move forward. And eventually tackled by Rice, a 5-yard gain. So 2nd down and 5 for the Demon Deacons. Hartman to keep it. Looking for some room, and down he goes right at the 20.
You can see the difference in runners. You know, just Sam Hartman, you know, he's just looking for a little bit of space and then trying to get down and protect himself, whereas Jamie Newman is going to try to finish runs like that.
3rd and 2. He rolls right. Short pass and almost picked off. Incomplete. Akeem Dent was right there.
It's a nice play call. It's a little boot play. You're trying to get Beal Smith into the flat. You have him there. You just need to give him a better football. As a quarterback, a lot of times you're going to have a guy unblocked that's in your face. When you're rolling to him or you're escaping outside the pocket, you just have to find a lane. You're allowed to use a pump fake, try to get around him, and Sam Hartman does not do a good enough job navigating the unblocked defender.
Yeah, Brennan Gant was right in his face. So on 4th and 2, that drive dies for Wake Forest. They are forced to punt. And that will bounce and continue to roll. Pretty good roll. Down around the 25-yard line. Florida State with a 14-12 lead at Wake Forest. Hanging in there here at Wake Forest. Florida State with a 14-12 lead, but these folks are hoping for some offense.
They deserve some offense sitting in this rain, and it's cold too. It's a wet, cold night. Ponchos needed.
Yeah, go with the double bag. It's a 49-yard punt. It was touched early, and Matthews hauls that one in, stopped by Greer, but will pick up the first down. That was a 10-yard pickup. One of the many outstanding receivers for Florida State. Sometimes you forget about him a little bit. Here's Laburn with the carry to the left. And Matthews came into the ballgame with 19 receptions and a touchdown. He can burn you too.
He absolutely can. So much speed out of DJ Matthews. And when you think about the loss of Keyshawn Hilton, who's been such a consistent player for them, they're looking for other guys to step in and make plays, and DJ Matthews was close to taking that one the distance.
Terry, of course, an All-America candidate. But Gavin, Wilson, and Thompson and Harrison, they can break your back as well. Harrison trying to spin free, got loose. Little stiff arm there. Heading out to the 40-yard line before he goes flying out.
It's a great play by Trey Rucker, the true freshman safety that's playing for Wake Forest. Harrison, you mentioned it, Dave. These guys have all kinds of speed. He's reversing field. The pursuit and the angle that he takes to make a play and get him down, because that was actually fairly close to bouncing out the backside.
Yep, lost 5 yards on it to bring up 3rd down and 11. Akers back in for the Seminoles. He has had a big night. He's in motion. He's in the flat. No fire to him. And again, nobody brings him down on the first effort. And that's a gain of 7. So what do you do here on 4th down and 4 to go? And they're going to bring on the punting unit.
This is the right decision. You're playing a quarterback. You know, as much as you want to be aggressive offensively, or if that's your identity, that's fine. But you're playing a quarterback in Sam Hartman, who just hasn't been able to make throws tonight. And now the weather is turning. Look, you're protecting a 2-point lead. I think you need to, make Wake Forest prove to you that they can make some plays in the passing game.
It's a great point, and have not been able to do it tonight. Kendall Hinton with the fair catch, and they muff this one as it goes bouncing out of bounds. 4:47 to go.
It looks like, yeah, he gets run into by one of his own players. It looks like Stephen Claude, the reserve wide receiver, just runs into Kendall Hinton as he's trying to field the football. And Wake Forest is really fortunate that that ball ends up bouncing out of bounds. And Dave Clausen's got to be thinking, wait a second, a week ago my special teams killed me. I don't need that again tonight.
Right. They've also had a touchdown brought back because of an illegal block.
That's right.
67 yards in the first half that was nullified. Hartman to throw, and that is batted down by Briggs. Got a big hand up there to swat that one away. Brings up 2nd down and 10. Well, Wake Forest unable to get any kind of momentum going. Going to try Kenneth Walker, the speedy running back. And a pass here for Hinton. Hinton with some room to operate. Cuts back inside and got all the way out to the 40 for the first down.
And Wake Forest just gets in an empty, and I don't think that Florida State does a good job of adjusting to it. You have 2 blockers out on the perimeter with 2 defenders, and then you have nobody to account for Hinton, which is why he's able to have the big pickup.
Hartman flushed out, but he will go out of bounds after a short gain. 2nd down coming up, 4:22 to go in the 3rd.
Dave, the guy that I think has to step up here with Wake's inability to run the football is Scotty Washington. The first 5 games, he had 27 catches. Between Louisville last week and tonight, he's got 3 catches. He's the guy that needs to elevate and become part of this passing attack.
Big receiver at 6'5". Clausen loves those big receivers, loves the mismatch. Up the middle, Hartman with the keep. And stopped by Jackson after a gain of 4 yards. 3rd down and 4 coming up. And Florida State with a 2-point lead. And a key 3rd down here for the sophomore quarterback. who was the starter the first 9 games as a true freshman last year before breaking his leg. He will fire that one, and it's broken up, incomplete. And he wanted Washington, but it was Asante Samuel there to interrupt it.
And I think Hartman gets confused here. If you look at what happens, you have a corner here and a safety up high. That's cover 2 to that side. He should be working to his left. You can't throw a hitch route into a cover 2 corner. The reason Asante Samuel doesn't respect him running deep is because he has help over the top. Sam Hartman, I think, read that as single high coverage man-to-man, when in fact it was cover 2 to the side of Scotty Washington. He should have been working away from it.
So Wake has to punt again. Maggio gets this one off. A low punt. Will take a bounce, and Matthews will scoop it up there. Florida State with the football on top, 14-12 in the 3rd quarter.
At Food Lion, we're different. Sure, we're on tables and in lunchboxes, but we're also out in our community. When you need us, we show up with helping hands and arms full of food. We even source locally to support our neighbors when we can, to provide you with the freshest produce available. Because this isn't just a grocery store. This is our home, and that's our Food Lion.
This is why you're here.
You have no idea how hard you're going to have to run.
Stand up. Run, Ryan! Let's meet your hour.
You're going to play at an unbelievably fast pace.
2019, 2020.
Unbelievably unselfish.
Good, shoot them. Carolina basketball team.
Play unbelievably hard. We have one scholarship left over this year, KJ.
It was earned, it wasn't given. I see the work you put in. Woo.
After suffering a right bicep injury, Justin Sternad was taken to the Wake Forest locker room, where they wrapped him in an elbow brace to limit his extension. When he got back out on the field, he talked it over with the athletic trainers. He decided he is not going to go. He is in some visible pain over here, guys, barely being able to extend that right arm that is completely wrapped up.
Yeah, and you could see Katie, as you reported earlier, is very upset about having to leave the game. He is a very tough customer, and they are certainly going to miss him. Akers on a carry. Before that attempt, he was up to 134 yards. And he has also caught one for a touchdown and run one for a touchdown tonight. 14-12 FSU.
Part of Wake Forest's concern coming into this game was, do they have guys that can get Cam Akers down to the ground? Justin Sternad is their best tackler, not close. And so without him, now all of a sudden it's a bigger concern for Wake Forest, which means you probably should rely on number 3 even more if you're Florida State.
Just picked up 4 yards on that carry. Chase Monroe is the man in now for Sternad. And so a lot falls on his shoulders, and he's a sophomore. 3rd down and 4. To throw that on a quick pass and caught. Wilson paid the price as he got drilled by Greer. And Wilson in some pain.
An amazing catch by Wilson. The ball's a little bit out in front of him. He's coming over the middle, and Nasir Greer just absolutely brings it. I mean, a massive hit, and you think these conditions, coming over the middle like that to hold on to the football, it's an outstanding catch.
Now stopping the clock at 2:25 to go in the 3rd. They pick up the first down with an 11-yard gain, but a gutsy catch there by Ontario Wilson, a sophomore from Ashburn, Georgia. And one of a slew of outstanding receivers for the Seminoles. But at the moment, on his back after the first down reception.
Yeah, Nasir Greer just really, gets after him, does a good job of removing his helmet from the contact, gets his shoulder right into the midsection, of Wilson, and it's impressive that he was able to hold on to that football.
Well, good to see him up and walking off under his own power.
See the ball out in front. He knows he's going to get hit, and Greer gets him. And then you see Williams come in, afterwards, high. But that hit right there.
Yeah, you make a great point, too, about getting the helmet out of the way.
And it's hard. I think one of the hardest positions to play in all of football, college or pro, is the safety position, because how they've changed the rules and removing your helmet from making contact in some of these defenseless receiver positions. It's difficult. And, a lot of times, you missed your target. It happens. And I think what Nasir Greer did there is exactly what everybody is trying to see happen in plays like that. It doesn't mean you'll eliminate injuries, but obviously you've taken the head out of the game a little bit.
Yep, that sends Wilson to the medical tent. First down and 10 for the Seminoles. And a flag. 2:09 left in the third quarter.
False start. Number 60, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And you and I have covered Florida State several times this season, and often at this point in the game, this is where they've hurt themselves with penalties.
It is, and I think their tempo is something that gets them out of their rhythm a little bit from the standpoint of now they're off schedule because they want to go fast. I don't know that everybody's on the same page, and when that happens, now you end up behind the down and distance.
They've been pretty clean tonight. That's their first penalty since the first quarter. Akers straight on. Eventually stopped by Travion Red. Been a big night for number 3. 4 more yards for him. But here comes second down and 11. James Blackman with another flag here. Blackman has played the entire game. And another procedure penalty.
False start. Number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And that is the number 3, Darius Washington, the number 3 left tackle.
And we saw him earlier blow an assignment. I was, and miss, his assignment, and ultimately the quarterback gets hurt. You see him jump off sides there. We've seen Basham beat him. He's, kind of struggling there. I think it's one of the reasons you kind of help him out and don't put him in these passing situations.
Second down and 16, short pass, and would have been a very tough catch there for Akers, but incomplete.
And it's interesting, you look at Cam Akers, he's got no gloves on. He's taken the gloves off. He started the game wearing gloves after the fumble, took the gloves off, playing in these wet conditions, and Willie Taggart made it very clear they really haven't had many rain games, and they really didn't do much to prepare to play in the rain.
And the rain's coming down harder right now than it has all night, just about on schedule. They were predicting around 10 p.m. He'll step up now and throw on the move, and that's going to be incomplete. He wanted Gavin on the side, but Bassey was there for the cover. So they'll be punting here with 1:10 to go in the third. And the door opening again for Wake Forest. They've had opportunities they have not taken advantage of tonight. Again, they've been in a red zone on 4 different occasions. They had to settle for a field goal. That was all in the first half. And Kendall Hinton back to receive the punt. With the rain coming down, a chilly and damp night here in Winston-Salem. Gets the punt away, but short. And a fair catch, but he dropped it. Question is, did he recover that? And he did. Able to fall on it. Kendall Hinton.
Kendall Hinton, really very clear that he's fair catching it. Guys all around him, and I don't think that has anything to do with weather. He just doesn't field it cleanly, and fortunate that he's able, with all of those Florida State cover guys right there, he's able to fall on it.
Went right through the legs of Grant Glennon, and he got a little fortunate. So just a 31-yard punt. 1 minute to go in the third. First down and 10 for Wake Forest. Hartman, time to throw in the pocket. Down the middle, and Hinton with another good play as he leaps up for the first down catch.
Really good job of Kendall Hinton. He's been running so many of these kind of little option routes inside, and he basically, fakes the option and goes over the top, and Hartman finally able to put a ball in the play where his wide receiver can make a play on it.
Gain of 36.
And you go back and look at it, this is what I mean. It's that little option route there. He comes inside, and he's able to get over the top, and then just give your guy a chance to make a play on it. You don't lead him up the field, but you give him a shot, and that's a great job of Kendall Hinton on Akeem Dent going up. coming down with the ball.
Well, just seconds left in the third, but Wake driving in the raindrops. Hartman again looking to throw, wants the end zone, and knocked away. Batted away from Surratt by Stanford Samuels, and those two have been going at it.
And Stanford Samuels probably done as good job of anybody's I've seen on Sage Surratt. Now this ball is a little flat and left inside, and Surratt basically has to turn into the defender there. And the coaching point for a quarterback is if the receiver leaves you room, you should miss outside. You should never miss inside. And I'm just not sure that Sam Hartman in these conditions is able to place the ball where he wants.
3rd down 8. With Walker as the running back. Hartman rolling again. Looking right. Throws. A short pass complete. It's Surratt. Still on his feet. Gets to the 10-yard line. He'll pick up 14. And that's the end of the third.
Eastern on ACCN.
Welcome back to ACC Network Primetime Football presented by Geico. Look at the score by quarters. That is Cam Akers trying to stay dry.
Try to stay dry. It's try to stay warm. You know, you go sleeveless out here. It's raining. It's freezing.
Oh, look at this. The 5th red zone drive now for Wake. They have not scored a touchdown in this situation yet. Direct snap to Carney, the running back. He's rumbling to the middle with the spin to get down a little bit closer. On the direct snap to Cade Carney.
Cade Carney basically a similar type runner to Jamie Newman. You think about how physical he is. Good idea by Dave Clausen to get into that direct snap situation.
Gain of 6. 2nd and goal. Can Wake Forest finally knock it in tonight? In the early seconds of the 4th quarter. Carney again. He'll keep it. He's in. Touchdown, Wake Forest. Cade Carney answering the call here for the Demon Deacons. A 3-yard touchdown run.
Just smart play calling by Warren Ruggiero, the offensive coordinator for Wake Forest. The quarterback's been struggling. It's raining really hard. He's been inaccurate with the football. You get the ball inside the 10-yard line, don't mess around. Give it to your most secure ball carrier and let him run the football with a direct snap.
So Nick Skiba for the first time tonight for a point after. And Wake Forest in front.
Wake Forest battling back, doing it on the back of Cade Carney, the physical runner, able to call his own number, punch it into the end zone.
Take a look at our New York Life drive recap.
Yeah, and you look at what they were able to do. They moved Sam Hartman out of the pocket, and he's able to hit Sage Surratt. That gets them down in tight, which leads to the 2 carries for Cade Carney. You know, kind of surprising Florida State a little bit coming out of break with the direct snap, and then they just line right back up in it and decide to go back with it again. Cade Carney kind of gives you that more physical runner. Now Sam Hartman maybe feels like they got a little momentum on their offense. Now I think the key for Wake Forest here, you think Luke Masterson out of the game a week ago.
Yep.
Justin Strnad out of the game, their best tackler. Someone on this Wake defense is going to need to step up.
Going to go with 2 tight ends here, but it's Akers to take it off to the right side. And stopped by Williams. Boy, these 2 teams run a lot of plays, Tim Hasselbeck.
They run a lot of plays, and they're already back up at the line of scrimmage with the offensive line ready to go. And, you know, I think both teams feel like it gives them an advantage.
2nd down 8, 146 yards so far for number 3. Finding a hole there. And he makes another one as he rumbles across the 35-yard line. Stopped by Nasir Green, but he picks up 9.
This is all running back. When you look at what's happening, Wake is bringing a blitzer. You have Smenda unblocked. You have your middle linebacker that is unblocked, meeting a running back in the hole, and Cam Akers runs right through it. An incredible run.
He'll get a breather, but you know he'll be back in there in just a moment. Laborn taking over at the running back for FSU. 1st down and 10. Low snap. Scooped up and completed here On the left side, that was complete to McDonald, the number 3 tight end, before he was stopped by both Bassey and Williams, but that lost a yard. Second down and 11, approaching the 13-minute mark. Wake Forest in the lead, 19-14. The rain continues to fall here in Winston-Salem. Blackman has played the entire game at quarterback. That's a bit of a headline for FSU. The way the season has played out to this point. He's going to fire it incomplete. Pretty good hit there, but Gavin hauled it in, and a flag is down. Greer again involved. 15 yards on that play.
Personal foul, targeting, number 3, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down. Previous play, on a further review.
Nasir Greer, certainly one of their top defenders and best tacklers, but they're going to take a look at targeting here.
And what happens is that Wake Forest brings safety down into the box to defend the run. And then Florida State ends up hitting a slant in behind it. And so now Greer is forced to cover a lot of space. He comes running out of the middle of the field. He's got to make this tackle. And I've said it a couple times now, I think it is hard to be a defender in football these days. To me, that doesn't look like there's an attacking manner, but it also looks like Greer's head is down.
Yeah, the lowering of the head is one of those indicators.
And so with that indicator, and you're talking about the crown of the helmet, I think there's a chance that this is upheld.
And of course, is the player defenseless? If it is targeting, the player is disqualified. Florida State's already lost a man and one of their great defensive players, Nasruddin. That was very early in the game, just moments into the contest.
Yeah, and looking at that angle there, it was a great shot by our guys, but looking at that angle there, I think this is going to be upheld. I mean, it's a defenseless player because it's right after Gavin catches the football. And even though Gavin is lowering his body, you know, it kind of leads to the shoulder of Greer hitting Gavin in the head, and then his head is lowered. I think there's elements of targeting here that are going to be evident, and would not be surprised to see this one upheld.
They're still taking a look at it here. 12:41 to go in the fourth quarter, and Wake Forest ahead 19-14. Just scored their first touchdown after nothing but field goals to that point. They're really giving this one a long look.
Let's just say they do uphold the call, Dave. You know, you're just looking at a situation now where you have a true freshman in Trey Rucker that's playing safety. He's playing ahead of Kobe Davis, who's been a little bit banged up, but basically because he's outplayed Kobe Davis. So you have a freshman playing in front of a sophomore who he's going to have to come in and help.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play.
So no penalty. And Greer applauding that decision. 8 tackles tonight. That leads the team.
And I have to say I'm a little bit surprised by it just because of where the contact was and how we've seen that officiated throughout the year. But a big break for the Wake Forest defense.
It seems to me we have seen targeting for less.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Listen, it's all in the spirit of protecting the players for sure.
First down and 10. He'll air it out, and that one got to the receiver but incomplete. He wanted Terry, who will often be off to the races after hauling it in. He's had a difficult time catching the football tonight. They've made it tough on him.
They have, and that's just really poor spacing there as well. As you look at Harrison is right in front of you. He's trying to catch it, and then standing right behind him is Terry. You need, the field is wide. The field is over 50 yards wide, okay? You should be spread out to get some type of stretch on the defense. When you have 2 receivers basically standing in the same spot, somebody did the wrong thing.
Second down 10. Handoff for Laburn trying to bounce outside. Looking for the edge out there. Somebody lost a helmet on the play. That was Greer, in fact. He's going to have to come off for a play. That went for 6 yards. Third down and 4. 12:20 to go. Zion Keith, the freshman, will take over for Greer for a play. 3rd down and 4 for FSU. Cam Akers back in. 155 rushing yards so far tonight. And they need him again. A toss ahead, and this one to McKinney, the tight end, as he will pick up a 1st down for FSU.
It's a nice play call on 3rd and medium there. You basically fake the jet sweep. You fake speed to the perimeter, and then you just sneak McKinney. It's basically an inverted option. It's a shovel pass. Kind of catches the defense off guard. You find a crease.
Blackman looking long now. Has a receiver to the end zone. Terry! And a touchdown. Scary Terry. And a long bomb, 36 yards to put Florida State back in front.
A week ago was a slant and go on Amari Henderson. It's a Sing Bassi this time, as you see Terry do a good job of adjusting to the ball a little bit behind him. It's clearly inbounds, and I think he secures that all the way in.
And Florida State will go for 2 here. With a 20-19 lead, looking for the 2-point conversion. Boy, it was just a matter of time before Tamaria Terry broke loose. The highly respected wideout. And Blackman got it to him. And now here's Matthews. Still running with it. Still on his feet. Evades another tackler. Looking for the end zone. And that play is broken up, incomplete. Trey Rucker. And what a wild play that was, and it took forever.
It was one of the longest plays I think I have ever seen. Reminiscent of Donovan McNabb with the Eagles against the Cowboys.
Illegal forward pass. Offense. There were 2 forward passes on the play. The penalty is loss of down. Therefore, the extra point is no good.
All right. So 2 forward passes on the play. That had a lot of elements to it. 11:22 to go.
It was after the lot of go on, but before that, it's James Blackman on the slant and go to Tamaria Terry. You see, he gets the same Bassi there, and then speed outside. Great adjustment to the football.
Yes, Oz is the man under all circumstances and all weather. By the way, the 2-point conversion failure, that could be very, very big indeed. Remember, Wake has an outstanding kicker in Skiba, who hasn't missed one in forever. And Wake Forest to take over the football here with 11:16 to go in the game and trailing by 1.
And you would think, you know, there's a chance that you even come back to some of the direct snap stuff that you saw down in the red zone by Wake Forest last time out. Something to spark your offense to get it going. Just get that initial 1st down so that you can get into your tempo and rhythm.
By the way, the highlight for I think everybody on our crew is your family being there, Tim. Your beautiful family, your wife Elizabeth, and the great kids, your wonderful daughter and your boys. It was so great to have them with us. And they're big fans of bowling, as it turns out. On the move, here's Hartman to dive ahead. Trying to make something out of nothing to bring up 2nd down. And here's Katie George in the rain. Katie, how's it going down there?
It is going. It's coming down. Heavier than it's been. Oh, there you are. Hi, guys. This hat is working very, very well.
Yeah, so nice hat. Very nice.
My trip to Belk, I'd say, was successful.
All right. Enough of that, because you know you get all sorts of free stuff from Belk now for the rest of your life.
You're on to me, Dave. You're on to me.
I thought that's what that was. It was a play.
There was no paid partnership there, okay?
No. Don't worry, Katie. Dave does it every time we see Bojangles. Every time we see the chicken.
Bojangles, a man is down here for Wake with 11:04 to go. That is the running back, Christian Beal Smith. They can ill afford to lose him here in a game like this. How about the shades? I'm not sure about that, but very bright futures here for these kids.
As hard as it was coming down earlier, I think they also double his goggles. I think that's really maybe what they were for.
Dave O'Brien alongside Tim Hasselbeck. Tim and I are warm and dry. Katie certainly is not, but braving the elements here. And meanwhile, Christian Beal Smith still down for Wake Forest. as they trail FSU by 1 point here in the fourth quarter. And Beal Smith up and walking off here, the 5'10", 190-pound sophomore and a local kid.
When you think about this number of plays that both of these teams like to run, and you just think, you see the injuries kind of mounting up. That is a bit of a residual effect of going so fast.
Yes, on both sides, really. FSU with 79 total plays, and that one batted away at the line by Marvin Wilson, who always seems to leave his mark.
Really does. He just plays with great leverage here, is able to just basically, walk the offensive lineman back into the lap of Sam Hartman, get his hands up. Looks like Nathan Gilliam not able to just anchor down. Marvin Wilson just playing with too much power.
One of the best defensive linemen in the country. Hartman trying to get off the pass, throws it up there rather wildly and incomplete, hoping that Surratt might get there, but incomplete, and another stop for the Seminoles.
It was really Marvin Wilson again getting inside, forcing. If you see Marvin Wilson, he's going to come here, which is going to force Sam Hartman to want to escape outside the pocket. And when he does that, then all of a sudden you've got Jackson, who the linebacker, in pursuit, that forces the high throw. So he doesn't get a sack, but certainly great impact on the big third down.
Well, we've got a timeout.
Timeout, Florida State. That's their first timeout.
In Winston-Salem, the storm arriving rather late, but some don't mind. Others do very much. And the slippery conditions haven't affected the wide receivers tonight. Certainly not Hinton hauling in a big one there. But Florida State with a 1-point lead here in the fourth, and Wake Forest to punt. And a good one to drive back Matthews here. And all the way down inside the 15-yard line. The ACC Stock Exchange, the running game is certainly back for Boston College. Dillon and Bailey, they are bruising.
Yeah, and those green arrows look like your portfolio, Dave. I mean, look at it. Yes, they're running the football. They commit to it. They play a bunch of tight ends. And you look at Pitt, oh my gosh, 36 sacks through 7 games. And think about it, they've lost 2 good pass rushers to injury this season. They've been amazing. And don't you feel like Travis Etienne's kind of the forgotten man?
Yeah.
And been stable as, Trevor Lawrence has thrown more interceptions than I think people thought that he would. And we talk so much about those wide receivers, but Etienne just been so reliable for them each and every week.
Got off to a great start in week 1. Kind of quiet after that. Not today, really noisy against Louisville. Layburn with the carry there. We'll see if FSU really keeps it on the ground. Akers has had such a big night with 155 yards rushing. And Layburn is back in there. James Blackman from Jump Street tonight has been the quarterback. No substitutions, which of course has been the pattern for FSU this season. They seem to realize that that hasn't worked as effectively as they would like. Into the flat for Terry. And stopped by Bassie, who's been real active out there.
He has. The thing Bassie has done well, even though he got beat on the slant and go to Terry, but he's been a sure tackler tonight, and that's really helped on the perimeter with some of the plays like that. They're essentially extensions of the run game. You spit it outside, and you hope, it's like a sweep play, basically. You get the defense to run, defensive lineman to run, and get to the edge.
Cam Akers returning. Big call here at 3rd down and 8, leading by 1. Blackman stepping up now, wants to run it, and took a pretty good hit there as he went down. And Greer, who does have that ability to lay a crunching hit on you. At 1st down and 10.
You look at where he starts his slide. I don't think he gets this, Dave. It's where you start your slide.
Timeout, measurement.
Look at that left knee.
And I think his left knee is down there, and if that's the case, that's well short of the line to gain.
The previous play is under further review.
And we heard the officials say we're going to need a new ball, too, given the wet conditions. Left knee going down.
Yeah, and from this angle, it looks short of the 24-yard line.
Short indeed. 9:06 to go. Greer with 11 tackles tonight. He gets credit for that one. Now they're still looking at the spot.
And Greer's been all over the place, and you know, they originally called targeting on him earlier in the game, and
after further review, ruling on the field is confirmed. 4th down.
He is short of the first down.
You know, a lot of times people will watch a quarterback and they'll say, well, why'd he slide before the first down? You know, when you're out in the middle of the field like that, you can't always see where you are. It seemed like Blackman had a sense of where the sticks were, and, you know, was going head first rather than going feet first. I think if he had that one back, not knowing what he knows now, maybe he would have tried to stay on his feet and run through a little bit of contact.
They gained 7, but inches short of the first down. So Tommy Martin into punt. Back at the 10-yard line. Kendall Hinton can be very, very dangerous back to receive it. And it's a short punt. A roll. And Wake Forest. Well, we will see if Hartman can get the offense rolling and really get it going. Before the game, having some fun with Surratt, shirtless fun in the chill.
And then he finds him when it matters, and they actually have uniforms on as he hits him on the slant and go, hits him on the go route. And really, at this point in the game, they need to do something to either get Sage Surratt back involved in this, did he get a big play there, or one of these other wide receivers step up and make a play.
Hartman to throw, quick dish here, that's complete to Washington. We've talked about him all night long, and he's kind of been the missing man in their offense. That play goes for 5.
He really has, and he's such a big guy too. I mean, he's 6'5". He's got such a great catch radius, and you know, you got Asante Samuel Jr. on him down. Major height advantage for Scotty Washington.
Wake Forest did do considerable work on wet footballs leading up to what they knew would be a very sloppy night, complete to Kendall Hinton. This could be real close.
And Dave, I think they've handled it well outside of Sam Hartman not being accurate throwing the football. I think the receivers for Wake Forest have actually caught the wet ball pretty well.
They do pick up the first down. Off the play fake, going long here, and that play broken up, intended for Washington, but a flag down, and a push there by Asante Samuel.
And I think that Sam Hartman gets bailed out.
Pass interference, defense, number 26, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Yeah, Sam Hartman and Scotty Washington get bailed out by the pass interference plays. Samuel's there a little bit too early. But Sam Hartman lets that thing hang a little bit. And then Scotty Washington, once that ball is in the air, it doesn't matter what route was called, go attack the football. That's what you do best. You're 6'5", go get the football, go attack it. Don't wait for it to get to you. They're fortunate they were interfered with and end up with a 15-yard penalty.
Moves it ahead of the 44-yard line. Hartman trying to run with it as he steps forward, but stopped by Gant. And a clock running at 7:36 to go here at Winston-Salem. 20-19 FSU. And you continue to wonder about that failed 2-point conversion, just how important that may wind up being for the Seminoles. You're talking about a game being played in a pretty steady downpour too. 2nd down 10 for Wake. Hartman wants to pass. Incomplete. Rifled that right over the head of Washington. Samuel again with the coverage.
And what Florida State is doing is they're rolling coverage on top of Sage Surratt. And so you have one-on-one coverage basically down to the bottom of our screen, both on Hinton and Scotty Washington. You just got to give them a chance to make a play on the ball.
Carney, the running back, 3rd down 10 for the Demon Deacons. They lost a heartbreaker last weekend in a wild game, 62-59 here against Louisville. Carney with a handoff, still on his feet, straight ahead. Takes the hit, but a tremendous run by Cade Carney to pick up the 1st down.
This is an incredible run by Cade Carney. It's well blocked initially, but you just see the pursuit. As you see Jackson there, Rice not able to get him down. That's Cade Carney just with pure effort and determination to get the 1st down.
And almost never gives up the football. 13 yards on that one. 1st and 10. Rifles the pass, and that one complete to Washington. And now he's getting involved, Tim.
And it's another completion on the move the pocket play. You know, we've seen Sam Hartman with a couple balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. Not as big as Jamie Newman, just 6'1", playing in the rain here.
4 wideouts stacked to the left. They're going to keep it on the ground here, and nothing for Hartman. On the forward progress, they're stopped by Rice.
Yeah, when you have a smaller quarterback, a guy that's struggling inside the pocket, you move him outside the pocket, it creates throwing lanes for you. And we've seen that a couple times, especially on the plus side of the 50 for this Wake Forest offense in Sam Hartman. And it's a little different than the previous pass we saw to Scotty Washington, which was over his head. That one right into the chest, so he's able to secure the catch.
2nd down 8. Hartman. Up the middle again, stopped by Marvin Wilson. Clock running. 5:35 to play. 3rd down and 7. And no hesitation for Hartman and the Demon Deacons. Down by 1 on a rainy home field on this Saturday night.
It looks like Florida State's going to play coverage. Would not be surprised to see this ball handed off.
Out of the shotgun, he's looking to throw. Short pass complete to Surratt. Right around the 10-yard line before Dent tied him up with some help from Rice. That picks up 6. So what do you do right here, Tim Hasselbeck?
I think you kick the field goal, you take the lead. You've got a good kicker. I think you trust your operation.
And they will bring in Nick Skiba, who's been perfect tonight, perfect all season long. He's made 21 consecutive field goals. In his career, over 90%, which is among the very best among active kickers in the nation. 4:25 to go. This from 25 yards to put Wake Forest in front. And he is perfect again. Wake takes the lead. 22-20.
Wake Forest battling back. Field goal to get back on top.
Wake Forest favored for the first time in their series history with tonight would mark the earliest the Demon Deacons would have 6 victories in school history at 5-1. But Florida State coming up when this one is finished. And by the way, if you love close football games and exciting finishes, we invite you to be a regular guest of ours on Primetime, the ACC every Saturday, because that's all we do.
It pretty much is. We maybe expected more points, but we've got a 2-point game just outside of 4 minutes.
Blackman's going long, trying for a big strike, and that one's almost intercepted as Bassey had it, lost it, nearly picked it. Going alongside Tamari and Terry, and a little bit shaken up on the play as he hit the deck hard.
Really, Bassey just turns into the wide receiver. He should pick that football off. Trying for the quick strike, which surprises me a little bit. 4 minutes and 18 seconds left in the game when that drive starts, which means you have all kinds of time. Time is not an issue, and going for the quick score. And
Terry a little bit gimpy. 4:10 to go. As one of the top receivers in the country walks to the sideline here, and Bassey slow to walk off himself. And it was a splashdown, and as you said, he had it but could not hold on. So Coach Taggart and FSU going for the home run strike, but came up empty. And the rain continues to pelt the field. It's artificial surface here. So that's a break for the players, certainly.
It certainly is. You end up having your footing. And what's interesting now, you have a 2nd and 10, starting cornerback out of the game. And so now Jasir Taylor's in the game. And I would expect Wake Forest to try to protect their corners, play with 2 high safeties, which is a prime situation to run the football with Cam Akers.
2nd and 10. Blackman rifles that one and caught. And a completed pass for the first down on the strike to Harrison. There's a flag down. 23-yard gain.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, high hit, number 72. Defense, 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Oh, that's huge. That goes against Tyler Williams, number 72.
Tyler Williams has had a good game tonight. The offensive line tries to cut him. He gets back off the ground and tries to get his hand up. And again, I'll say it. We've seen plays like this go against Florida State this season. I'm not sure he gets his helmet there, actually. He gets his shoulder.
Yeah, not much. But it's a huge call. 1st and 10. And here come the Seminoles. Here comes Akers trying to dance inside. Working ahead, stopped by Smenda. A gain of 2. 3 minutes and 42 seconds to play. Florida State down 2. 2nd down and 8 for the Noles. Akers has gained 157 yards. He'll carry again before he's tied up by Tyler Williams. He picks up just 1 yard on that carry. 3rd down and 7.
It's another good play against the run by Tyler Williams. And now, because you're able to do that, now this is a known passing situation in 3rd and 8.
He'll throw short. Big hit. So 4th down. Taylor with the stop on McKitty. That picks up just 2. 4th down and 6.
And a lot of times in these situations, if you trust your kicker, and you look at it, he's been good. He's got a good leg, and I think you have to trust your operation even in these conditions to take the lead. 4th and less than 5, I think maybe you consider it. 4th and 6 is probably the right decision.
Going to be a 50-yard attempt by Ricky Aguayo. And whistles before the attempt.
They have to call a timeout. They were late making that decision, though.
2:17 to go.
Timeout, Florida State. That's their 2nd timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, Florida State calling the timeout there. 50-yard attempt coming up here for Aguayo. And once again, down the stretch we come in a steady rainfall here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yeah, Florida State calls a timeout there because the play clock. They were late making that decision of, hey, are we going to go for it here or are we going to kick the field goal? Running some guys on that kick team forced to call their timeout. And, I think this ends up being the right decision. It's a sloppy night. The chance of, getting a 4th and 6 with how your quarterback is played, it's probably too much just to call a run. And, you're putting in the hands of your snapper, holder, and kicker at this point.
Well, Aguayo 4 for 8 on the year, but a 50-yard attempt to put Florida State in the lead with a little more than 2 minutes to play. He hit a 53-yarder against Virginia earlier this season. Kick will have to go right to left. It's down in the air, and that one is no good. Aguayo can't hit it, and Wake Forest maintains a 22-20 advantage.
Plenty of distance. He just misses it left. And now, you know, maybe being slow on that decision and losing that timeout could come back to haunt you, but it's a good snap. It's an excellent hold. You mentioned going right to left and just a little too far left, but you can see plenty of leg. That's not the issue, just off target.
And everything was clean. The snap, the hold.
It's great. Now you have Cade Carney taking the direct snap.
Trying to find a hole as he is tied up by Marvin Wilson. As we approach 2 minutes, 3-yard pickup there. Carney's really been a star here in the second half for Wake, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think it's smart how they're using him. You know, I think if Jamie Newman were at quarterback, we would see Jamie Newman taking that snap and running that football. But because Sam Hartman is there and is not the same type of runner, just take your big physical runner and put him in the backfield.
Now they've used that direct snap. 2 tight ends in. And it is Carney again at the 30. He takes the snap and trying to burst ahead. He continues to move those legs. Again, very tough to take down on the first hit. 1:16 to go.
And if you think about it, for Florida State, you know exactly what's happening. I mean this. If you line up in that situation again, I would bring everybody. I wouldn't even consider, I mean, I would stop covering guys. I'm not sure that Wake is in a situation where they would allow Cade Carney to throw the football in this situation.
And Florida State has 1 timeout remaining. Under 50 seconds to play. Wake Forest clinging to a 22-20 lead over FSU. And again, it'll be Carney. And 1 yard short. 4th down and 1. And Florida State will take the timeout with 39 seconds to go. And that'll do it for the Seminoles. No more timeouts remaining. Well, we have had some wild finishes on Saturday night in the ACC. It has been a ride. He's looking for the end zone. Firing. Touchdown, North Carolina. 1 second. Akers denied. Virginia rushing the field. Virginia has won it. It's Carter spinning free. Headed for the end zone. He's in for the touchdown. Malik Carter. This is the play of the night. He actually keeps it. Now rushing. Conley for the end zone. Touchdown. Goodness gracious. Evan Conley. We've had a few goodness gracious final calls, haven't we? 62-59. That was some finish.
Well, it's one thing we've learned is that these things are never over. And you think about Wake Forest, 3 of their wins have come in the final 30 seconds, so they're well aware of it as well.
Well, Wake has to punt, and they do barely get this one away as that is out of bounds. So 35 seconds to go. Right to your point, it's never over till it's over, right? Blackman bringing the Noles back out with an opportunity here. Down by 2, 22-20. That was just a 34-yard punt.
The wide receivers for Florida State are a strength of their team. They have speed on the perimeter, and they have guys that can take, you know, a 5-yard slant route the distance in situations like this, and they also have the ability to just run right past you. Look for Carlos Basham right here. He's the best pass rusher. He's going to be the guy that needs to get home.
Well, they start this from the 24-yard line. Blackman lost it. He lost the handle. No timeouts remaining, of course. And they're going to fall on the football. Florida State gets it back, but that clock is running. They can't stop it.
And they're not even lined up correctly. They got an offensive lineman that isn't even lined up.
Precious seconds ticking away. 10 seconds to go. Another low snap. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. And that's going to do it. Wake Forest wins it 22-20. Florida State sloppy in the final seconds. And Wake Forest pulls out the win by 2 points over the Seminoles. Well, another crazy finish. You wonder if the weather played a role there in those final moments, Tim.
I'm not sure we have to wonder, Dave. I mean, you think about it, you have a quarterback have the ball go out of the back of his hand on first down, and then you have an errant snap on the very next play. And so your final drive, your last shot, are 2 plays where the players aren't handling the wet ball properly.
Wake Forest wins it. The Demon Deacons improving to 6-1. It's the fastest in school history that they get to 6 wins. Now 2-1 in the ACC, and they bounce back from a tough loss on this very field last weekend against Louisville. And they knock off Florida State 22-20. The final score in the rain tonight. So another Saturday night game in the Atlantic Coast Conference that comes right down to the final couple of plays. That's nothing new. Well, Florida State falling to 3-4 and now 2-3 in the ACC. Akers' first loss this season when he has 25 or more touches. 199 yards, 2 touchdowns in the loss. Let's go down to Katie with Dave Clawson.
Thanks, OB. Dave.